Welcome everybody to another episode of the Crime Alley Cast. This is episode number 32, title to come. Right? We don't have a
title. We always title these after.
We do title them after. Title to come. Kasi just in post, like I'm gonna move my mouth right now, and then you just edit in.
We're not doing this post.
The title of this episode is
I love 10.5ers.
There we go.
You
All
did
right.
so
So
well
you just
with it last time.
you put the words in over that, and we're good to go. But I am Josh Urars, and to my left on my screen, it's the main editor himself, mostly Costly. What's up, bud?
You're really gonna regret just mouthing words and letting me put what's in there.
I don't think you're gonna do anything.
I don't think so either.
I don't do anything. And then to my right is the man, the legend himself, Zubaz. I was gonna say Mr. Zubaz, but you dropped the Mr. Yeah.
You did call him mostly Costly though, and he tried to drop the mostly.
Oh, that's right. You're done with mostly Costly, right? You're just Costly now.
I'm still. It's like my friends call me Costly, but I go by most. You know,
okay, all right. I'll
Recently, I've been going by mostly Zubaz.
Yeah. So. And that's it. No one else is here worth talking about. We'll just go ahead. M4, what's up, M4?
I don't know, man. I was excited to be here. This is the main reason why I try my best in TOL to make it here, and then I would just get so much disrespect.
Oh no, not
it breaks. It breaks my.
Oh no. But if you're wondering why M4 is here, is because the grand prize to winning the TOL is that you get a guest spot on the #1 podcast. I think it was recently awarded in the there's like a podcast awards show not that long ago, and the Crime Alley Cast won. We are the #1 podcast for DCL. That was because no one else entered. There are no other podcasts, and so that's the prize. Come on, the #1 podcast, and that's M4. He won. So glad to have you here, M4. This is becoming a quarterly thing now, where you just come on here
every 3 months. He's on the first episode.
Every 3 months he comes in and.
I want to clarify something.
What's that?
I'm here because I thought you were going to show the big checks, like the oversized ones that you're making public just to make sure that you're gonna hold your end of the bargain.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But see, he would have to hand you that check, which means you'd have to be on camera.
Yes.
So
counterpoint.
So, no camera, no check.
Oh, all right. It's on Costly. Everything I said off the record is gonna be 10 times that.
Wow.
Where's our thingamabobber? We have
our
outline. Pull it up here. All right.
Oh,
I would also like to say it's obvious DaBoy's not here.
Who?
And I think that's for an obvious reason. I mean, we all kind of know what happened in the TOL, right? And so it's like,
that's true.
You know, I think he said he was going to be here, and then he just didn't show up when M4 said he was going to be here. So I don't know if he's ashamed or what's going on there.
I mean, he didn't show up at the TOL either.
See, you know what? And I totally forgot DaBoy was in the TOL finals. Like, he should be. Wow. He should be here now.
Wow.
Forget it. I'm just saying. He's not here. If anyone's wondering, before we go live with the podcast with like set up cameras and all that, and I gave DaBoy 10 seconds to get on. I said, "Where's DaBoy?" He said, "We don't know." And I was like, "All right, then he's not on the podcast today because I'm not sitting here waiting for him to get on." And
I can't wait till he joins in the middle of.
He's not. Recording. No, he's not. Costly. If he jumps in, boot him because it'll screw up the cameras. Anyways. Let's get down to brass and tacks. Is that the saying?
It's there's no and. Yeah.
Let's get down to the brass and tacks.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's Tournament Legends TOL talk, and again, this is why M4 is here. M4. I mean, we ask you every time. How does it feel? How does, I guess, how does it? What is this TOL victory? How does it compare to the other ones?
Relief.
Relief.
Yes.
Why?
Imagine losing to DaBoy.
Oh, yeah.
Like imagine losing to the boy.
He would have been just insufferable if he won that.
Never.
Oh yeah, even worse than the other one that I was so afraid to lose to.
Right. Yeah, this was a big tournament to win, and with all the shakeup in the qualifiers, M4. This is a little behind the scenes talk. You're one of those that were upset about how everything went down in the qualifiers with the group stage.
Oh no,
you didn't like it.
I wasn't upset.
Mm.
I just didn't like it.
You sounded upset. You sounded upset.
No, I was fortunate that I was on the bracket where there was no one else that went 79.
Yeah, you could have been in the D bracket, C bracket, right?
The one
D
I was
bracket.
in.
Yeah.
You finished in last place, right, Costly?
Yeah, I had a bad
Okay,
run.
that's all we needed to know.
I did better than you. What are you talking about?
I didn't finish in last place.
Yeah, he
That's
wasn't
all I
in
know.
last.
I did not finish in
because
last place.
I was in the hardest bracket.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was.
My last place.
Wait,
My last place would have been like high up in all the other brackets.
I don't
was
know.
there any other bracket where you would have made it?
No.
And you
I mean,
also-
I'm just saying that. I don't actually know. I didn't look.
I'll pull it
I
up.
do.
I'll pull it up and get the relevant information we need to make that.
Offhand.
No, I wouldn't have made it.
No, Costly would not have made it.
I would have been close in Zubaz's bracket.
Yeah, you would have been. You would have been in fourth. Would have been in fourth. That's
But you weren't.
You weren't.
And what you were was in last.
So, yeah.
Okay, so for people that are just hearing this and not actually seeing the scores in front of them, the next person above me in my bracket went 74-6.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the thing. So yeah, I guess
three people
M4
went 79-1 in my bracket.
M4. You were lucky. You weren't in the C category.
Oh yeah,
I mean, actually, you got 70. You went 79-1. You would have been fine.
maybe.
Okay, M4.
I could have lost by 17 seconds. Who knows?
You could have. But yeah, you were the most upset about it of everyone that I talked to. And what was
I
your?
don't know about that.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that.
What was your main complaint? And I think I know the answer, but I want you to tell the world. What was your main complaint with the?
You asked for the rosters before announcing the format.
Right.
That's it.
But what's
That's
wrong
it.
with that?
What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
Imagine entering a competition and then the rules just changed right in front of you.
But
that's
how did that
pretty much
affect
it.
your roster?
I would argue that's been Tournament of Legends every time, though.
Oh yeah, every time a question is asked, the rules get amended. But it's part of the game now. I mean,
What? How did it affect your roster, M4?
Because a lot of people brought like their everything in but the kitchen sink, and then some were like saving it for the future, expecting to, because it's a pool of how many do we have?
Well, this was 28, I believe.
28. Okay, so how many spots? 12 spots. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you just need to be top 12 to make
Right.
it. So people are kind of like, okay, I'm gonna save some of my big guns later on. It's not that hard to get top 12. And you switch it up, and then it turns out they don't need to be top 12. They need to be top 3.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's a
top
big
3
change.
only out of 7, though.
It doesn't matter whether it's 7, 100. Top 3 is still top 3.
A little bit.
Well,
He's still
to
feisty about
what
it.
to what M4's point is, like, looking at it, it's like there's a bunch of people in my bracket that all would have qualified that didn't qualify.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we know.
Look, and as far as like the changes comment, I just like to say, I have a permanent like different sets for what episode we're doing of outlines, and in the Tournament of Legends one, there's a subsection called changes. That's just always there for every time we talk about Tournament of Legends.
Well, because there's changes to every Tournament of Legends because
Right.
it adapts with the meta. Come on, Costly. Don't turn this into something it isn't.
Yeah, Costly. But Costly, were you upset? Were you upset by the changes
No,
or the results?
actually, I think it's a smart thing.
It is a smart thing. It's a
No,
smart thing. But
I'm actually in favor of what they did. I do agree with it. Though it's like probably should have saved that for next TOL instead of.
well, it
Yeah.
would have to me. I would see where you're all coming from if if it didn't affect everyone the same, like everyone's roster was turned in before. It was no one had any sort of.
That's true.
We didn't even know M4. We've said this. We didn't even know this was going to happen.
It was DaBoy, right? He did it. He was the one that
No, it was
last
me.
minute.
Yeah, Zubaz,
Oh.
like literally, like it was. He sent me a message. He's like, "Hey, we have 28. We can do a bracket. The group stage." And I was like, "All right, that sounds good." And then he sent over the bracket, how it's all laid out, how the groups is gonna go.
I
And
just
said,
pointed out the bus and threw DaBoy in front of it, and Zubaz saved him.
"Yeah,
Like
well,
that was.
I will always
yeah.
always take a bullet for DaBoy, number one. Number two, I will always take credit for
Yeah.
things that piss people off. So
That's true.
And so
But I think-
after Zubaz sent those messages, like again, like 15 minutes later, I made the graphic. I made the graphic, and then I went live, and then we did the name drawing, and then actually there was like what 2 people who actually had gone, or one person, yeah. And so,
Right,
but
right,
we
Dane-
but we figured, hey, it doesn't matter, you know,
It doesn't affect.
It doesn't affect
You're not
anything.
gonna play any better or
Right.
worse.
yeah.
Right.
So we just let it go through, and it was
So the only thing that I think I've gone back and forth on whether or not it affected me at all, because it's like one of those psychological things. I don't necessarily like knowing the scores before I play.
fun. Mhm.
And because of the way everything was being done, like the scores were all over the place. I couldn't get away from it. So it was like
Okay.
I knew, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Well,
and so
I
it's
do
like-
know. I mean, you knew that Purge almost and Rundown had gone, but Windigroove, Vagrant, and Hate Mail, I think they all went on like the last day or something.
no, they went before me.
Did they really? You were like the last one. to go?
Hey Mel went after me.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah.
it was like there was like basically I saw the qualifying line already
Mm.
before I started.
yeah.
So that was like, that was just one of those things. It's like I also
I
could
get
have
it.
just not gone on Discord, but
Yeah.
it's
yeah.
Play
it's just-
faster.
yeah, it's just you could that's how it is. You play earlier, you don't know, you play later, and you some people like seeing where they need to go, some people don't. I'm gonna turn my mic thing down. I may have been too loud just now, so the quality of my voice may have just changed. But yeah, so M4, you didn't like it, you hated it, you were mad at everyone.
I like the I like the change. Like
Uh-huh.
I said, it's just the timing of it.
Okay. And so what would you have done differently knowing it was a group stage? Like what would you specifically have done different? Do you remember your original roster?
No, I probably would not have changed anything.
You did like Kaga, Batwoman, I think. You used like some kind of random stuff early.
I have like let's
Stir
see.
maybe?
I may have like
I actually
Did
have
you-
yours. So your roster, your opening roster was Wonder Girl, Wally, Nightwing, Manhunter, Terra, Sapphire, Batwoman, Connor, Grodd, Kaga. I mean, the only one that like seems odd in that group is
How did I
Kaga, but
remember all?
because I have the list right here.
No, how did I remember
Oh,
all
yeah,
that?
yeah, I
Like
don't know
off
how
the
you
top
did
of my head.
But yes, I mean you have a very strong roster. I mean you have Nightwing. Like I think to me Nightwing is one of those characters that is very strong in the TOL. Like I
I just flipped my roster from TOL. What was the last one? 5.
right.
I used Nightwing in the finals, and then I just like
Yeah.
did it the back.
See, to me it looks like you came out strong. That's how I feel when I'm looking at your roster. You said I'm coming out strong with Nightwing. You have Nightwing Wally, and that's just a recipe for success.
Yeah,
I
like I
mean,
said,
also
it's
keep
not
in
gonna
mind
change.
that M4 has like 75 RB5s. So
Yeah.
there's always going to be a strong roster. So
Yeah, I think all of these are Rebirth 5 except for Grodd. Or no, Connor. Connor's the only one. No, do you have Nightwing Rebirth 5?
No,
He doesn't
he's
need it.
he doesn't need it.
Yeah, but
He's
he does. He's better with it though. I'll say that he hits really hard.
yeah, of course.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, you have a strong roster. Like I don't know, like it's.
I mean, it's decent.
Yeah,
It's decent.
I got the job done. 79-1. So yeah, I mean, not much to say. I guess, like you said, nothing would have really changed too much. You
Right.
brought, I feel, a strong roster. I don't know. Maybe you would think I'm going to bring in now. Okay, like we're saying this now, but does this how you did now with this surprise roster, surprise group staging thing? Are you going to tackle the next group staging in a different? Oh, actually, it doesn't matter what you do next time. TOL's different next time.
Yeah, it's gonna be different.
Yeah, completely
It's going to
different.
be completely different.
Oh yeah.
So
Kossi, did you
Yeah,
hear the changes?
no.
Oh my god, this guy doesn't even listen to this.
Okay.
Costly, this was on the we.
I haven't really been playing anything or paying attention to anything because like we've been super
Podcast is
busy.
over.
No, I mean I legitimately I've been working from like 6 in the morning to like 7 at night
Okay.
for the past like
So
2 months. So
I'm gonna spoil it for you, Costly. This is what happens in DOL.
Get ready for this, Costly. This is great.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't think M4 is going to say what is actually about to happen.
Let's just say that.
Lubas might be psychic. All right. This is what happens in DOL, Costly. I'm gonna educate you.
okay.
If I win the tournament, changes are gonna happen. So last time I won, like there was 25 matches. I cherry picked the 5. Oh, but imagine the next DOL. Oh, by the way, it's now 30. You can't cherry pick your matches anymore. So now, okay, god dang it, he won again with his RB5s because he only need 27 tunes. Let's make them pick 30 off the bat.
Oh, you have to pick all of your tunes right off the bat?
Potentially. Yeah. It's a
Okay.
couple of
You know,
details to iron out.
I have a question for
But-
M4.
It's not over
question
yet,
for-
Costly. Wait. There's
No,
still more.
I do have a question for
Okay.
M4.
Go for
So
it.
looking at like if you go look at like the history, right, and like or not the history, sorry, the champions, and like you look at like the deal, it's got your name all over it. Do you think that like there's constantly changes because Josh has like feelings about the fact that his name's in the middle on the one that you didn't play in, or like
One, he played in it. Let's get that
He
straight. He
I
played.
played in it. I
He-
played. Yeah.
okay, yeah, we all know M4
I
played
joined.
in that tournament.
I joined.
No, what I saw is I put up an 80 and 0 in my qualifiers, and suddenly M4 sees me at the top of the list, and now he
Yeah,
doesn't.
and I was like, oh my god, I got
Hey,
spooked
that
and
question
just,
was for M4, Josh. Hold on a second. M4, did you respond?
I got distracted.
He doesn't
What was
know
the
the question.
question. Yeah, what is the question?
Move on, move
Costly?
on.
All right,
Move on.
wait, Costly. I know. M4, do you want to continue to explain what the big deal about the 30 tunes you have to pick pre-hand?
I don't know because 15 minutes before the start, it's probably gonna change. So
No,
I
okay,
mean,
Costly here. See what M4
No,
does? Why do
why?
we? All right, Costly. Here's the changing. Also, this is for everyone that hasn't possibly heard. The TOL qualifiers are changing. One of the changes coming in is it's not going to be, everyone just enter when you can. Please join the list. No, there's going to be a hard cut of entrants. And once we cap it, we will potentially open it up more entries allowed in, but by groups of 4. So if we open it up and only get 3, and that 4th doesn't come, well, then sorry, you guys should have signed up earlier. So it'll be first come, first serve to get in the TOL. And that's so we can keep consistent group staging proper. But the big main change, Costly, and this is the one I think is interesting. I actually think you might like this, Costly. I think everyone would like this. Is, you know how when you play in the TOL, you have all these grand ideas of using all these cool tunes, but you don't make the qualifiers. Like, oh shoot, I didn't get to bring X, Y, and Z tunes. I really wanted to show them off. Well, in this TOL qualifier, you have to pick 3 separate teams of 10. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
3 unique teams of 10, and you're going to do 30 matches. But each team will be one board. So you'll have that team will do one board, and that'll be matched up against someone else in a round robin fashion. And then once that board is done, then your record wipes out. Did you go 40-0, 38-2, whatever? And now you have a new board with your new team, and it's a whole new record. So if you did bad on the first board, that's fine. You got a new board to do and a new person to beat, and then you go for it with that second team and then to the third team. And so it's 30.
It's like you have to win like 2 out of 3 or something, or like
Yeah, as
you have
many
to win?
as many as you want. It'll be a round robin. If you win, you get 3 points. If you tie, you get 1 point. If you lose, you get 0 points.
right.
And
So it's gonna be more like, instead of it being like bracket tournament, it'll be more like point tournament.
for the
Yeah.
qualifying round, and then you
Yeah.
get into a bracket. Like kind of think of the World Cup.
So here's my question.
Honestly, he's never watched the World Cup.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, he's a World Cup man.
I'm Portuguese,
I can
dude.
look at
Come
him. He's a
on,
World
like-
Cup man.
Like, but all right. Anyways, is there still going to be that rule where like you got to use all 10 of your tunes?
Oh yeah. So
Of course there is.
Even more.
so costly. What's
Even harder
interesting
now.
about this is like
You know I hate that rule, right?
you have to
Like,
use all your tunes in one board. So we have 10 matches to use all your tunes.
so against that
You know how
rule.
you hated that rule, Costly? We doubled down it. We took it from you have to use all of them in 20 to you have to use all of them in 10.
And so what this means by doing this means that you can't have one comp ride the whole board. Like, that's it. Actually, the maximum you could use the same team of 4, I believe, is 4 matches. Because then after that, it has to change. You have 6 other tunes you need
Here's
to
my
use.
thing is like I understand where you're coming from with that, but at the same time, it's like I can go boot up DCL right now and be like, I really want to use Killer Frost,
Okay.
and then load up a board, and there's not a single team that she would be good against.
Oh, well, you better
You know what I
figure it
mean?
out,
So it's
man.
like,
Gotta
Sounds like
build-
a personal problem.
so
Gotta
now I
build
got to
that
bring
roster.
a character that's gonna. I
Don't
just
bring Killer
understand,
Frost
like-
then. Why would you bring a
No,
character that's not
I'm
going to do
just
good?
okay. Like I'm saying, okay, whatever. Like any character that you would bring, that like not every character works in every single scenario unless it's Spectre, and we can't use Spectre. So and like, so it's just what I'm saying is like, what happens if you bring like your 10th tune is somebody that like doesn't work in any of the scenarios?
And then
you now have to.
the scores
you
are
now
going to
have
get
to use-
shook up. That's what's
You
happening.
now have to use that champion.
Yeah.
That's
champ
also
because-
that's you. I think that's
How does
a
that
really
prove you're good
bad
at the game?
tune.
I don't
bad
understand.
tune.
But
If
my
you
whole thing
can't
is
fit
like,
one tune in 10 matches, you have 40 spots for that one
Yeah.
tune. Why did you bring that tune? Like,
No,
that's
it's
true.
crazy.
I'm gonna defend cost. I'm gonna defend
my-
Costly.
Okay, go for it.
All right, let's pretend that. All right, let's choose a good tune. Let's say Terra. Okay,
All right, Tara.
Terra's a great tune. All right,
Mhm.
let's say Costly has the worst luck in the world,
Uh-huh.
and all 10 of those teams on the board has Wonder Girl.
Then you kill
So
Wonder Girl
he's-
first.
Yeah.
But it's Costly.
Yeah, so he'll do it no problem. I have full confidence in Costly to knock out a Wonder Girl with this stack of red characters. Come on.
But his
So it's
point
like-
is, she's not ideal in that comp. So-
Right, sure.
My point has always been, and it's like I get, like I don't think it's a horrible rule.
It's not,
I
it's a
don't
great
understand
rule.
how it works with like the idea of this tournament shows who are the legendary players, the best players. Like you're gonna so like the way I've always looked at the tournament is there's always like here's your tools, show me what you can do with it, right?
Right.
And it's like this is something that I feel counteracts that in the way that it's like, okay, yeah, show me, here's your tool, show me what you can do with it, but you got to use the pile of crap over there too at the same time.
Yeah.
Like,
And
you know what I mean?
everyone
Like-
has to use it though. That's the thing.
Again, why are you bringing the pile of
Yeah, why?
crap?
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
I keep going back to that.
You were almost on the right track except for that part.
Okay, I said the
you
wrong
could have
thing
said
then.
you could have said something like, you bring a screwdriver and there's like no screws, and you're forced to like, I don't know.
Well,
No,
then
Let's stab with it.
yeah, a legend would then turn that screwdriver over and use it as a hammer. That's what a real DC legend would do, and that's
why
what.
Joss is tough. It's amazing.
Listen, M4 had to shoehorn Enchantress into
He
his
did.
final round, and he did.
Yeah.
And that, he did it. And
It's
that was
just
it.
Costly. This is also going to cause, I think, a lot of shakeups in the scoring. I think we're going to see a lot more interesting comps. I think we're going to see a much wider range of comps, and it's going to really make people
No,
plan.
I think
and
it'll be a good thing because here's
Good.
here's like the way that I look
costly
at
stamp of approval.
it. Like the way I look at it is like it feels like you're purposely trying to put something in there like to try and trip a player is what it feels like. But
No,
at the
I
same-
don't think so,
like,
because the rules apply to everyone.
It's
no,
everyone.
no, I
The one unfortunate thing about this rule, this change, is the Costly rule will go away.
Oh, that's true. Like you can't read. There's no board refreshing. That's it.
There's
yeah.
no refresh. It's
Because
so
and-
unfortunate.
And costly for this, it's just straight 10 matches. You don't have to. You play 10 matches, and if you lose a match, you can choose to refight it or you just move on because you only have 10 matches to do on one board.
Well, the score doesn't even matter because in the end, it's going to be 1-0 or 0-1. So even if you go 40 and let's say you go 39 and 1,
Wait, so
and the other guy like went, I don't know, 10 and 30, it's still 1-0. So it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
well, so my question though is like So say you go through with your first team, you play the first board, right?
Right.
Say you lose 2 matches, right?
Okay.
Now you're on to your second team. Do you have to do those 2 matches, or do you
No,
start
no,
a new board?
the new board, refresh, new
Refresh.
board,
Okay.
this is brand
new board,
new,
that
Okay.
new
well,
board and new
yeah.
opponent.
and new,
You
new. So
are-
like,
yeah.
let's say it was me versus you on the first board. So like that first board you're playing, your record will be compared to my first board record.
Yeah,
And then,
no, that makes
yeah,
sense.
and then you go on, and then once
but-
that 10 matches over, it's now you versus Zubaz, and that's your guys'
Just
board.
lost.
This is honestly, I think this is a great idea, and I think it's
It's gonna
I'm
be
excited
great.
about this because it's one of those deals where it's like, don't get me wrong, like the tournament's great, but it just feels like,
There's no but.
especially when M4 wins it every time, it just feels like, what's the
I
point?
don't win it every
Like,
time. Come on.
Also, it is taking place in October, which means there will be a set of spooky rules.
And I get to stream during my birthday. That's great.
You will
All right.
you will do. I think we're gonna do bonus points for revives, but they have to be alive at the end. So it's like kind of like gambling, where like if you bring a revive tune and they die, like you lose double points for it. But if they revive and come back and they keep coming back, you get more points every time they come back if they're alive at the end.
You get more
Possibly-
points for using Grundy because it's really RNG rather than if you did like Swamp Thing or something.
Or
Like-
Cersei, you gotta spooky rules are in effect.
Spooky
Yes.
rules.
This is an example of those 15 minutes before the new rule is implemented. This is a
I'm
prime
giving
example of that.
everybody 3 months notice. Gear up your revive tunes. Spooky
But
rules.
yeah,
are-
so it's gonna be fun, gonna be exciting, and M4 is on board. I get costly stamp. of
I
approval.
am.
Yeah, it's good. It's gonna be good. I
There are
think
two
this is
things-
gonna be a
there are
very
two things you
interesting
need to
one.
worry about.
Hmm.
Two things you have to decide on the rule, because it's unclear when we talked about this. One is you pick 3 sets of 10.
Right.
Who chooses which of the 10 you're going to use on the first, second, and third match?
You do.
Is it your opponent?
You.
Is it you?
No,
Okay.
you do. Yeah. You say.
And
all
do
right.
you choose that after you know who your opponent is?
Yeah, I think your opponents will be known going in, so you'll decide. Okay,
Oh, okay.
I need to bring this team against this.
All right.
Okay.
So if I'm like first round, I'm gonna
That's-
fight
that's a
Cosplay, I'm
really
gonna
good
bring my best. 10.
right.
There's strategy, right? I mean, there's
Well, no,
going to be
because
people who play it both ways. There's going to be people saying like, okay, this is my hardest opponent. I'm going to bring my best tunes for this. Or they may say, I don't think I have a snowball hell chance in hell to win this, so I'm going to punt
guess-
and I'm going to bring
Oh.
my C team for this.
Yeah.
Okay.
What I actually
Both
what
are valid.
I really like about that is it also kind of like enforces a celebrity of players in a way where it's like you think about like who you're facing
Yeah.
and like their kind of roster and it's like in what people are known for and stuff. So it's like people are going to see me and immediately go, oh, he's going to use Nightwing. You know what I mean? And then it's like, and same thing like it'll be with like if somebody gets DaBoy, they're like, okay, I got to worry about Lanterns and Darkseid. You know what I mean? So it's like it'll be interesting.
Yeah,
That's,
but
that's a cool way to put it.
yeah,
and it'll help everybody inflate their overinflated egos.
it all comes down to. I mean, you play your best. Play
You
play your
assume
board.
people know who you are. Is that-
Yeah. Hey, I have haters, man. I have haters. It's great.
But
They're in this stream.
I am excited for how this is going to shake out. I think M4 is excited. Kasi is obviously excited for it.
Oh, I only mentioned one thing that we
Oh,
need.
what was
Okay,
it?
so that
What
one's
was-
sorted out. The second one is the next round. What happens? Which of those 30 makes it?
That's
To the next one.
We're getting to
yeah.
that.
I have actually been like thinking about it and drawing like diagrams on like potential situations of like, do you pick a group of 10? Do you pick 10 of the 30? Do you? It's all different. Like, I haven't shared this with DaBoy and Zubaz yet because I've just been kind of like mulling it over. And I'm not gonna sit here and explain it now because it's too much to explain. But just know that I'm mulling over, what it is. I'm gonna tell Zubaz and DaBoy, and then we'll like really hone it in, and then figure out how those 30 are gonna shake in. But I do think that the 30 you pick, how I'm kind of leaning right now, is the 30 you get to use the whole tournament. Like that's it. Like you don't get that pool of 30 is your 30 for the tournament. And your swaps and trades and whatever will all happen from that pool.
Would come from the 30.
Yes, would come
Okay.
from the 30. And the only thing, I guess the spiciest thing I can even think about, and this was like in one of the scenarios I was thinking, would be a double ban each round, and that would be just super super difficult to like play for. Like that
So,
would.
on that note, though, it's like when you look at it.
Mhm.
So remind me, it's 27 tunes normally. Like people
About
have?
ish. It's like 26, 27 tunes right
Okay,
now
so it's
currently.
like, isn't kind of the problem right now, and it's like that. Like for instance, M4 can pull out like 30 tunes that are all RB5 and bring all of them,
He could.
right? So it's like, and there's other players out there that can do that as well.
Mhm.
So it's like, how do you tackle that? Like, do you do more matches so that people then have to bring 40 tunes or something, or it's like, you know what I mean, to kind of try and to kind of throw a little bit of like spice in there in the way that it's like people have to use tunes they're not familiar with, or they're not like, or they're like towards the middle of their roster or something. You know what I mean?
I don't know why anyone would bring a tune that's not geared up, ready to go. Like I know you're
I
saying
don't mean not geared up, but it's like when I look at my roster, it's like I tend to stick to the front of my roster. Like we've talked about this before.
On the
It's
left,
like,
yeah.
yeah, but it's like more matches would mean more tunes, which would force people to go deeper into their roster, is my point. Like, and I think that would produce more exciting matches.
Sure. I mean,
like, you know what I mean?
The main reason you use the tunes to your left is because those are your best tunes, and like the further you get to the right, like, you know, there's the Zatanas, the Cyborgs, and like those regardless are just gonna lose matches, and that's not. It's I get what you're saying. That's not what's I don't think going to end up happening. Like it'll be bring the best 30. You know, bring the 30 best tunes you got. But
Crossley's bringing Killer Frost apparently.
Yeah. I disagree with that. My Riddler is on my.
Yeah, I mean, look at M4's Nightwing is not Rebirth.
Yeah, it's like, in the Nightwing and Riddler. I mean, it's not all about power.
Yeah, and trust me, Kasi, I look at M4's roster every day, and I make sure to ban every single one of his RB5 tunes if I get the chance.
Yes, and I'm gonna say this: I can't bring 30 RB5 because Josh has banned at least 5 of them already.
So. Nice.
But M4, really quick, because we do enough about future TOL. Let's get back to the one you won, you know. And how did you feel watching the final? Because I think you had a kind of a casual watch through.
Oh, well, no. I had, because I knew the boy was all right. So, in all seriousness, I was not sure I was going to win because
before you started.
Before I started, I had no idea if I was going to make it. I was focused, anxious, and like I said, I did not want to lose to the boy. All right, so I didn't even want to make it to the finals. Like I almost screwed up my.
You're so close to losing in the semis.
Yeah, because part of me wants to lose to Vagrant because I didn't want to face the boy. I was so scared of the boy, of the prospect. But I managed to squeak through. So okay, I have to face
Something
the
I
boy.
do want to say real quick before we get into like you know the finals and everything is. I want to say, like, I'm gonna be nice for 1 second, and then we're gonna transition back to reality. DaBoy had an amazing Tournament of Legends run.
He did.
He really did.
He's not here to receive the praise.
Yeah, he did great. Favorite. And then now we're gonna go back to talking about how he lost. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, he was the favorite, even in the brackets. Like, I think only 2 people chose me. Everyone was like saying the boy's gonna win it. This is his month. He just got 4 new RB5 toys that isn't even in his roster. I mean, they were crap before, right? And then he just got 4 new toys. So he made it to semis last time without those 4 tunes.
He didn't make it to the semis last time.
Well, he made it farther than ever. And then
quarters.
Had 4 RB5s.
Has been is the quarters.
Yeah. Okay. But he was close. He lost by a little bit. And now he had 4 additional toys. Yeah. And not just, I mean, it's Parallax, and like you've seen him use it. So he was really the favorite. And then so I didn't want that. All right. So finals, like, oh my, I made it back again. I can't screw it up. But when watching it, the boy and I had plans to like chat, like so we can comment on each other. I don't know, maybe trash talk, whatever. And we were both excited. You know the feeling, Josh. You know this.
Yeah.
Like you don't know how it's gonna go, so your heart is pounding. Oh my God, damn it, loose tunes.
Right.
So I don't want to give it away. And probably didn't want it, so I said, let's just type. Let's not talk because you cannot hide your emotions.
Right.
So we decided, all right, well, I kind of like I didn't want to talk to it because I didn't want to give it away. Fortunately, he lost his second tune somewhere in the middle of the second board. So it took the pressure off me. But at the same time, I don't want to tip him off because I want him to feel the pain and the anxiety for the whole 3 hours.
Right.
So I played it casual, like, okay.
I
Try
was
not to give
watching.
anything away.
So I had DaBoy up on the screen. I just like choked on some water right now. I had DaBoy on the screen on my right when we were doing the finals. And it was the match. I went back and watched that match. And it was the match where you had Stargirl and you did Stargirl's AoE, killing Azrael, which triggered their Spectre. And Spectre did some purges. And then how it shook out was in this next series of moves, you were not going to be able to kill Spectre, and Spectre was going to take a turn. And he did take a turn. He took a big turn, did a big AoE, almost killed your Riddler. Like, it wasn't like,
Yeah.
you know, like 5%.
He had
a little bit. Yeah, he had some. But then he almost, he also did the punch after the AoE and went after Supergirl. And I thought, like, in that moment, I thought, man,
It's over.
yeah, that's it. Because if any of those tunes die, Spectre is going to do a buff purge. He's going to go off. It's over. Your dark side's probably going to get stun purged. And it would have been, I think you lose that match. If one of those tunes dropped there, I think you lose that match. And that
Probably,
was just, it was extremely exciting. I'm watching DaBoy on the side. And when
And he was-
you squeaked out that win, when you got it, I mean, you quickly recovered and easily won the match. And DaBoy's face, he was just like,
Different.
oh my God, yeah, because he was just like, this is it, you know. And then after that match, he was like, you know, grabbing his head, looking at the sky, like it was just, he was upset, and because he knew his score, you know. And if you lose a match, that's -4, and that's it, you lose. So he knew in that moment, if you dropped that
would've-
match,
he
yeah,
could
he
have
would have
won.
won. He would have won. So it was just, that was such a very close match. And you had a lot of matches that I wouldn't have said
yeah.
like, oh, you're gonna lose it, but you could have dropped plenty of tunes, at least
So
3.
many.
Yeah.
Oh
so
yeah, that was the toughest run I
it was
had.
tough.
And
Yeah.
I know I had RB5 tunes, but the teams that I faced were not like gimmies. Like
You're right. They weren't.
they weren't. I don't even remember. There's
You-
maybe in each board maybe 1 or 2 easies, and then like I don't know what was happening at that time. Everyone was using either Harley,
Mm-hmm.
Spectre, Azrael, or all 3. at the
Yeah.
same
And you got a
onset.
ton
And
of Hal Jordans too.
yeah, it was like incredibly annoying. So that it was my longest run because I had to like think so hard.
You had some
Even-
serious think times. We during the finals we did the time stamping, and some of your time between matches were like just insanely long. So you were thinking
yeah.
the matches were an insanely
Because
long
they
time.
were hard.
Yeah.
They were hard. Nothing
It
was
worked.
given. I mean, it did work.
They were.
so.
Hey, yeah, no one was faulting for it. DaBoy's video was almost as long as yours. I will say that. But it was interesting was he thought less. So I don't know how that. I think his matches were. No, I don't know what happened. Where it was just it came down to, you know, you guys videos are very close in length. It seemed like he thought less. I don't know. I know in his last match, going into his very last match, and I think it was he thought for a very, very, very long time. And I think that was just mainly due to him thinking like, I've lost 3 tunes. I definitely can't lose this one. It's kind of a weird team. It was like a bar to lead or something. And it was, you know, a little bit different than you normally see. And he just really had to play it right. But man, oh man, it was, I thought this last one was great.
My strategy was just to make sure he had to pick his poison, whether he's gonna choose Enrage or Speed.
Yeah, and that's
And
referring to his band, who you banned on his end. And yeah, you banned his Manhunter, and he had to either pick bringing in Brainiac to get the enrage protection or to make up for that lost speed in Manhunter and bring Cheetah. And that's what he had to do.
Yeah, I thought everyone that saw it that should have done Connor. He should have done Connor.
Yeah. Zubaz
Yes.
says so too.
I still think he should have done Connor. I think he would have lost like way more tunes had he not had Connor.
Maybe. But I don't know how he managed to not get enraged in all of those matches.
He
It's
got
like, of course,
enraged
once.
He got
Yeah.
enraged
Once.
once, but in that match he got enraged twice in a row, and that cost him a tune. In that match, he
Yes.
did lose a tune. If he didn't get enraged, like the one, he could have survived the one round of enragement. It was that second one that came down, and that's what's so annoying about Harley is if you get enraged once, you're 50-50 for getting enraged again the second time because her taunt is going to come down usually before you can do anything
Yeah.
about it. And
Right.
it's yeah,
But he did not get enraged.
and then the boy could have win was it 118-2? That's what he could have.
He could have.
And
He
then
could have.
Still would have lost.
Still would have lost, but it could have been even
Still
closer.
lost.
Yeah, so I don't know. It was. I've been on both ends. I mean, both finals I was in, I thought I was gonna win both. I lost one and I won the other, and you know, I get
By
where
1 point each.
by 1 point each. Yeah, I lost by 1 point and I won by 1 point. But I get what you're saying. How like it's, you know, if you don't know how it's gonna shake out, you were fortunate where you found out you won right away. But when you don't know and you kind of put the screws to the boy by playing your little mind games with him, made him squirm, and it sucks to squirm. I squirmed all the way to the finals, and I won.
Oh yeah, the worst one was the Fire Wings one.
Yeah, that I thought I lost. I thought it was another loss there. But yeah, it was that's funny you did that to him and you know, kind of kept it secret, moved to chat so he wouldn't know.
Oh, I told him suffer. That's literally what I told him, suffer.
Well, that was a TOL. I thought it was a very, very exciting match. DaBoy played amazing. You played amazing-er. So that's just how it shakes out in the TOL. You know, you do your best and hope it works. And for DaBoy, his best just wasn't good enough, I guess is all we can say. And
More luck.
more luck.
We spent quite a bit of time on the TOL. We should probably rapid fire the rest of the outline.
Yeah, why not? Sure, let's
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
We can like,
Because
bang our way through here.
Quick shout out for how good the TOL final broadcast was, though. Too.
Ooh.
It was very good. It was very. I'm not biased at all in this regard, and I watched it later with my pants off, and it was very, very good.
I thought we did a good job, Zubaz.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, it was fun. It was good. Canary, caw canary, like a bird,
I think
a bird, like a crow. She's a crow, right?
She's I think supposed to be a canary.
Is it? Yeah, canary. So, Black Canary is our new tune. M4 was saying.
New rework.
New rework. M4 was saying he would think it would be crazy if anyone were to take her RB5. That'd be the most insane thing. So, M4, do you want to go elaborate on that?
I didn't say that. I was probably gonna take her there sometime next month, maybe.
How many shards of her? You have a lot of shards of her, though, right, M4?
I already have. I don't know. Even before this month, she's already RB5 ready.
Oh, wow.
She was a.
There's in the alliance packs for a very long time.
He was in there with Batgirl for a really long time.
I farmed her heavily during that.
I mean,
so.
her rework's great.
You've been tinkering with
she's-
her, Costly?
Yeah. She's on my list because Birds of
You're
Prey.
welcome.
So I have her RB3 right now, and I also have TDK. Or I don't have her RB3. I have enough for RB3, and then I have TDK enough for RB3. So I decided instead of buying up the sale, I'm gonna wait till next month, and whoever gets the 6-day, farm them up to RB5, and then just when packs come along later for whoever doesn't get the 6-day.
You're going to farm up TDK? You don't even know what he does.
No, I mean,
You were moments ago before this podcast
No, I
started. You
said
said, "What does he do?" And you opened up your game and looked at him for the
no,
first time.
I've been using him in Siege constantly.
I
I just don't know what he does. But-
you say all I do is basic, and that's it.
Yeah.
And
that's
now
what
he's
I've been
RB5 just.
doing. Yeah, he's Batman. Why would I not take him RB5?
I suppose, you know what, you're right. You're right. He's a Batman character. I get it. No,
before he wasn't on my list because I mean he was on the list, but he was like way down there because he sucked. At least now he does
suck.
damage, and
does
like
decent damage.
he's a green that can kill reds for me. I need that.
He can
Like,
he can shoot some reds and he can do some cool stuff against. But this isn't a TDK talk.
yeah, no, we're
This
talking
is
about Canary right now.
Canary.
Yeah.
Canary rules.
Yeah,
He's the
Zubaz,
best.
take this away.
She's awesome. I think all of her skills are very good, and then on top of like how good her like regular kit is, she now has that awesome leader skill that can just wipe out a tune on turn 0 because you don't have to care about taunters anymore.
Right.
So yeah, I pushed for that very hard for her to give the entire team turn 0 true sight, and they bought into it, and it was awesome. But I think the rest of her kit is really what makes her so good. I explained this recently, but it was a domino effect, which is that her AOE now applies evasion ups, and that now makes her leader skill trigger more. Her leader skill triggering more means that she does her 2 all the time, and her 2 is now a guaranteed stun.
What is her leader
Turn
ability?
stun.
Is if she misses, or if your team has evasion ups, she does something?
Yes, yeah. If your entire team has evasion ups, then she will do her haymaker at the end of her turn. And so that is a free 2-turn stun that you get every time after she does her AOE, basically. A lot of people open with the 2. You know, it's like, you know, it's really good. So all those 3 things together are what has now like elevated her kit quite a bit.
She has a special. She has a secret skill, right? You know that turn meter that nobody knows about when she gets.
Oh my goodness! You know what? I don't want to hear it. Costly, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say so. Zubaz, nice with that. Remember when Pot comes around that she has a similar mechanic with her leader and also needs help doing it from her own kit.
I will be nerfing her. So
okay.
you got a stat boost, and that's all you're getting. I will be nerfing the rest of her kit next time she rolls around. Yeah.
Canary, she has a positive bug right now, I think is what we can call it.
It depends on how you do it. Sometimes it's negative.
That's true.
If it happens to you, it's not positive.
Right. But I'm going to say she has a positive bug right now in which her stun is counting as a buff.
Functioning as intended.
I don't think it is.
And it's working as coded.
So
that's how I intended it.
Like when she gets fixed, do you think her kit is enough to stay? Because I mean, that's super useful. Like that.
Still think it's going to be a really good.
You think she's good? Right.
Yeah.
I
it's a 2-turn stun.
Yeah, I
it's
think
a 2-turn. It's so good. And yeah, I mean, she gains turn meter like crazy. She evades more. She does more turn meter down. Like everything she was doing, she does better. But now everything's just functioning. And you know, one of the big changes too is that you can bring her with any comp. Previously, you needed to bring her with other evasion tunes. Now, just by bringing her, you make everybody an evasion tune.
Yeah.
So that I think is really effective. I don't think she's bad off lead.
No.
I've kind of been forced to use her a bunch in Siege, like when you're running against an impulse or something. Sometimes you want to bring Aquaman or something to deal with the turn meter. If it's Black Flash, something like that, and I think she's still pretty good. So I didn't want to risk the 6-day. A very, very dear friend of mine who plays this game one time, he did not. He gambled on there being a 6-day.
Oh, I've heard of this.
And and
because there's a formula for it.
Yeah,
you know what? There is a
formula.
There's a.
Okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
No.
It's always right except when it isn't. So
name one other time it's been wrong. Name one time.
All I'm saying is this guy. He thought he was gonna have an RB5 tune and he didn't. He had to wait months. So he had to wait like months and months, and everybody made fun of him. And we thought you had this already, and he really suffered. I watched him kind of mentally deteriorate a little bit. It was bad, and I didn't want that to happen to me. So We didn't know if she's going to get the 6th day or if it's going to be TDK. So I just pulled the trigger and got all the shards today. I already had her RB3 ready, so I didn't really need that many.
I'm flattered that you consider me a dear friend. That's
I was not talking about you, self-centered egomaniac.
Wow.
I was talking about my other friend that this happened to.
Bostly.
So I did it, and now I hope that TDK gets the 6th day. So,
Because that is
she's
annoying
great.
if you spend all those gems and then she's
there's like 100K difference in what it
it's
would
a
have
lot.
cost me.
It's so much more.
So
But
I just want to say,
buyer's
I
remorse.
know there's people that are trying to figure out the formula right now. I tried doing that 2 years ago. There was a formula going for a good 8 months, and then they switched. So that's when I just stopped
you know what?
tracking.
I'm gonna say this. This isn't my formula that I found. A loyal viewer on the stream brought it to my attention, and he's like, "Oh, I think I kind of found a formula, and it seems to be working." And I was like, "Oh, let's test it out." And so we on stream, I pulled up the calendar, went back like a year and a half, and it worked. He was right. Like for a year and a half, like
What
18.
stream are you talking about?
It was this old stream I know about.
Oh, okay.
About 18 months worth of 6 days.
It wasn't though, because like
It was.
as you were going through, you had to keep saying like, "Oh, but this kind of month is an
No,
exception."
no,
like,
it was,
yeah.
but no.
All I'm saying is back when I was in the Owls, which was like a good 2 years ago, I was trying to figure this out because everybody was always debating, which M4 can attest to. There was always a debate. Oh, who's gonna get the 6th day? Who's gonna get the 6th day? Right.
I cannot, but I'm just gonna be polite and say yes.
Okay,
but wait,
anyways,
I don't.
Hang on.
Anyways, I was tracking it, and I was like, "There's obviously a formula here," and it like was right for like 9 months, and then it wasn't. So I stopped tracking.
Zubaz is trying to paint this a different way than it is. So real quick, what it was is it flips. Like this, if the sale was if the character was the first sale, then the next month, whichever character is the bottom, it flips like that. It just flip flops each, and that's how you can track it. Except when there's a double month, a double 6-day month. So when there's a double 6-day month, you just don't count that month, and you skip that month and continue the process. And it worked, like I said, 18 months worth. And I was like, hey, this is working. And then we all said, well, let's see how this next one shakes out. The thing says it's going to be Shazam. And it wasn't. And hey, that's, just the way it is sometimes.
It's almost like there was never a pattern.
How can you say there's not a pattern if it goes for like 18 months and then it finally breaks?
18 months, except for these other months when it flips, and then you have
it
to
always
do it
flips. It flips every no. See, guys, this is all right.
Okay.
Let me turn everyone.
Okay,
off
this
here.
is the rapid fire.
This is the new podcast now. This is how it should be. This is why I stream, because when people talk, like I don't like when other people can talk when I'm talking. Just start streaming.
I don't like it when I'm wrong and people point it out.
No, I'm never wrong. Okay, anyways. Canary. She's great. I think Canary's great.
Use a new skin. I could do with a new costume for her.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd like that. Yeah, okay. Canary is great. We love her. She's a great tune, on and off lead. She's great. Real quick shout out about Canary. I was doing matches on stream, and I had Lex in lead against a team, and it was the same 4 characters, and it wasn't working. It was not winning the match, and I swapped out Lex, put in Canary, and those tunes weren't like duds with Lex. They worked with Lex. They all had buffing moves, this and that. Swapped out Lex, put in Canary, match win, easy peasy. Like. So don't think that you're giving up a big thing by putting Canary in lead. She's a good leader. She does a lot of work. Great on lead, great off lead. Canary. That's all I can say.
Perfect.
All right. IDK about TDK though.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Dork.
He does damage. I like it. It's good.
He's a green. He
does okay damage.
He does decent damage against and it's kind of sucks.
I've ran him behind Cheetah a lot, so that's been.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, he does as a green. He does decent damage against reds. I've used that too on a red 50, 60% out HP, and then they get blown away. It does work. But I still, I'm not like, oh, he's so niche. So niche. So, I don't know, M4, what do you think about Mr. TDK?
Well, he's a counter tune, so if you have the right situation, you bring him, he's gonna do great. But if you bring him when there are no enragers on your side, or there's no self-enraging tunes on the other side, no taunters, then he's probably gonna be mediocre.
Wait, what does Enrage have to do with it?
That's part of his kit. So like
Somebody didn't read his
I
kit.
didn't read his kit. What does he do when he's
It,
Enraged?
it's one of those secret, like,
well, he does more damage and just other effects.
So if they're
Like,
enraged,
yes, it's like the same as if they're taunting.
oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right. You know what? Because in Siege, there's no enraging going on really, so I'm not experiencing that. Right? There's
Okay.
yeah. So just that's okay. That's fair. That's fair. I didn't know that his enraging.
I mean,
My
knowing half the
goodness.
kit is like, why do you need to know the whole kit? Right?
Yeah,
I mean-
I don't need it now.
I mean, Costi just knows the basics, so like, I mean,
I
didn't
can.
stop
You
him
know what?
from-
All I know is
There's a difference though, which is that Josh may or may not have understood the enrage part, but is not saying I'm going to take him on. Constantly is like, oh yeah, no, definitely RB5.
I have a theme list. I'm going off
Your
of-
list, there's 180, no, there's 190 like 2 tunes in the game. Your RB5 list is 186. It's like all except there's like 4 tunes that you're like, nah. Okay.
No, it's very simple. It's Bat family characters and sometimes the villains, and then it's the Wonder Woman characters and sometimes the villains, and the Superman characters and sometimes the villains.
that's the
That's
game.
it.
That's the big three.
And you,
What
you
else is
also
out
said the
there?
Aqua family last time we did this.
No, they're on the side. I have some of them farmed up, but like
I
they
would
won't get
love
the-
to see your RB5
They won't
list.
get the crystals.
I'd love to
It's-
see your RB5
Okay.
list.
It's
I-
pretty expensive.
We know.
It's 180 characters.
not
I will say that TDK, he does pretty decent against taunting tunes. I just like you and for you said he's good in the right scenario. What is the right scenario to you? Like when is like, oh, this is why I'm bringing TDK. Like what's a team you would see that you're like, I gotta bring TDK.
If you
Against-
see, let's
Enrage
Superman,
is like
generally.
I feel like it's just
self-enragers and taunters.
the one that he really messes up, Harley. Like she
Harley.
just dies, and then Shazam survives, but he really can't do anything because he's gonna keep taunting because he resets his cooldown, then he's gonna taunt again, and then he's just gonna get stunned. So he's basically taken out of the game.
Does TDK's 2, is it a can't miss? Like could Harley dodge
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. It's
If
can't
they're
miss.
taunting, it's can't miss.
If they're
Oh,
or
okay.
enraged.
No, I'll mess her up real good
It
then.
doesn't. Yes. She just dies. Superman, kind of.
Yeah.
The problem is if you don't protect TDK, he's still gonna get popped in the beginning, and he's gonna get stunned. So you still need to account for that. It's not an automatic bring TDK, see
Right.
Superman, you win. No, you still have to account for turn 1, and then Superman's kind of like, okay, now I'm in trouble. Who else? Is there any other taunter that's Barda kind of survives?
Yeah, I like really thought he would be so good against Barda, and I've brought him to Barda matches and like not won. And I'm like, what the hell is this?
Well, he can only purge the death immunity, but not the stamina ups. So she's still
Right.
kind of tanky. So she's still kind of hard to kill. So it's not an auto win when you see a taunter. There are certain taunters that he's still probably gonna, I want to say struggle, but not like auto win or like neuter the taunter.
I really feel like he should have been just like taunters across the board, but it doesn't. It seems like he really isn't because,
Like
What I
He's
what I
fine.
do miss about him is that in his first rework, you don't have to counter because you can induce the situation. You have Riddler,
Riddler.
you have
Hmm.
Jericho, and there's one I'm
Steel.
forgetting. Yeah, because he procs off of a taunt, the event of the taunt, not an activation of a taunt.
So
if
here's
even Soups, the passive taunt of Soups, he used to counter.
Yeah.
But now only active use of a taunt
Okay.
is being triggered. So that's what makes it a little less effective. But at least it's guaranteed. You know what to expect.
Right.
so
Costly?
Zubaz, if you can answer this, and if you can't, then cool, whatever. Was there talk of like just instead of remove all like positive immunities, just remove all buffs and stun if somebody's taunting?
No.
Because that would have been kind of interesting.
I don't
Where like
know.
that would
You
have
mean like-
countered
you mean like
that would
Spectre?
have well it would have countered well it would have countered all the taunters. Like
Too
he would have
much.
been the yeah.
Too much.
That would have been a lot. That would just he would take out every single taunter. I think at that point,
Yeah.
like it would just
It's
be
gonna be Spectre Light.
yeah, basically.
Yeah, but that's all. But like the difference between him and Spectre would be like that's what he's coming in for. That's all he can do. Versus like Spectre can also then just destroy your entire team,
Right.
and then like do the Nightmare Challenge by himself while he's like.
Let me back
you know,
up. I should say, now that you mention that, I do believe, I won't mention names, I do believe somebody did suggest that, and we just knew they weren't going to go for it. And a lot of people were just not supporting that because it was probably too much.
It is a balancing act for you guys in the NDA group.
Yeah,
like you have,
absolutely.
like you can't just ask for the sky and get it. You have to, you got to ask for what you think you're gonna get.
It's a lot, and you balance it against too, like your own biases, right? Like there are people that have their favorite characters, they want to make them very, very good.
They don't
put
do
more
that
effort
in the
into
NDA
it.
group.
I would
No.
never.
No,
in a
they would
million
never like try to
would
get their
never.
own tune bumped up.
Yeah,
It would
they're
never.
so balanced. Some
Hmm.
some people would
Never.
make the tunes overpowered. Some would just nerf tunes to the ground, like removing interrupts and turning them into that amazing affinity resist up. So yeah,
It would
there is balance in
never.
the NDA group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, but we balance it against each other. I think that what I have found, at least in terms of requesting moves and this kind of stuff, is actually offering justification for the moves. And the one example I'll give is Black Canary. So I was told by other members of the NDA group. I'll say this: I pushed for 2 levels of it. I pushed for her to have the whole team would have true sight the entire time she was alive, kind of like Aquaman.
Ooh.
Like
That would have been
that
hard.
was a lot.
That would be
We
insane.
knew that. We knew that was tough. But the backup was the turn 0, and then they gain it if they gain evasion ups. And I was told, like, you're not going to get this. And they were just like, they're very stingy with true sight. They don't like it. And when I wrote to them, I said, listen, number 1, this is a niche that we don't have in the game. Number 2, if you're going to insist that Black Canary stay a leader, which they did, you got to make it so that her leader skill matters and that it counts. And that was a big part of it. The other thing that I argued was just from a standpoint of Black Canary is, 1, the move is named Zen Perception. And I was like, oh, well, she's perceiving everything. It's like, but Batman in the comics left her the Justice League. He said, I don't trust anybody else to run the Justice League except for you. You are a master strategist. You are the person that I want doing this. And to me, that said, okay, that means she's going to be somebody that's prepared for everything. Because a lot of people are like, oh, Batman World's Greatest Detective should have been the one to give everybody true sight at the beginning. And I just said, I don't know when we're going to get a World's Greatest Detective rework. I think Canary deserves it. I think she could have it. And so I have found that in arguing for these moves with the devs, if you can justify it both with an in-game need to fill and with a little bit of backup in terms of what their character does and how they exist in the comics, they go for it.
There you go.
So I think that's why we have it. So it's not just, oh yeah, let's just give this person an overpowered skill. Like it's like, yeah, we actually take some time to think about these things. But anyway, that's a little background of how that works.
Background you only get here on the Crime Alley cast. Look at that.
It's true.
It's
It's
true.
true.
Yeah, I was.
If you have moves you want to request, I have a inbox shredder that is just wonderful that you're allowed to send everything to. So,
Costly?
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, I always thought like World's Greatest Detective should have had that skill. The other one that I thought could have possibly had it was Spoiler, just because it'd be like spoiling the enemy team. You know what I mean? Like,
I
but
was with you with the greatest detective, and then like you just had to.
Well, no, I'm just saying like the I had a whole thing for spoiler. Anyways, we didn't throw this in the outline, but we should probably tack it on at the back of the reworks stat boosts for this month.
I don't even know who the stat boosts. Wait, real quick, before we jump into
Robin.
TDK, he's fine. He's fine.
He seems cool.
TDK is okay. Fair?
Yeah.
Fair. All right. M4, do you agree with that grading?
Yeah.
All right, there it is, straight from M4.
Probably a little bit more than okay.
You think it's more than
Sure.
okay?
Yeah.
It's just
Okay.
a little. He was
All
very
right,
hesitant with that.
That's true.
So stat boost, we'll start with the two that like, well, one of, if he was here, he could have talked about it. Indigo got a stat boost. Has anybody used Indigo yet?
No one uses Indigo. I can't.
Okay.
No, there's probably 2 people that use Indigo, and
Okay.
one of them is not even the boy.
The boy doesn't use
Tootie.
Indigo. I don't even know who would use Indigo.
So
Dude, yes.
Brainiac.
I like Brainiac.
I haven't touched him since the stat boost, but like, is it noticeable? Like, is there more damage happening? Is he surviving more?
Probably yes and yes. I thought Brainiac was fine before. I think the stat boost just made him finer. Like he's a little bit stronger, a little bit. It's probably survived a couple more hits than he couldn't before. But again, like these stat boosts, they're not like unless there's like major speed change. Did he get a speed change?
No.
I don't
No.
think so.
Unless there's like a major speed change, I really feel like all you're getting from the tune is they can take a few more hits, they can deal out a little bit more damage. They can maybe be on a team and survive in a match better than they did before. That's kind of how I always feel about all the reworks, unless again there's a major stat change or a major like super skill bump in like how much intelligence or strength they get or whatever.
But I mean,
Rob,
for granted that like, or for some of these characters though, that's all they need though. Like
Right.
Pot, that was definitely like her biggest problem was the fact that like she just couldn't survive anymore. It's like, but bringing her back up into like the current meta, like yeah, with the stuff that's out there, she still dies pretty fast. But it's like for me, she doesn't because I have her RB5.
Yeah.
But like,
well, back to Brainiac. The thing about Brainiac though is when you bring him, well, at least when I bring him, typically I don't take damage. That's why I bring him. Either as a leader, so I don't get whipped, and then I can do my thing, or I go faster, and this is one of Josh's favorite comps: Red Hood, Red Robin, Brainiac. So in that scenario, I don't think he needs the stats. But of course, is it good for him? Of course it is. He's gonna hit a little harder, but does he need it more than others? Probably not.
yeah.
So I would grade that a B stat boost. It's okay. Wasn't
Wait,
great.
so you're tier listing the stat boosts?
I just said like
M4's got a rank.
it's not
It's a B
It's not a
tier
tier.
stat boost.
The owls and their ranks, man. All right.
He can't help himself.
Zubez, how's Mara?
That's Owlman, right?
That's just owls in general.
Okay.
Every time we talk about them, I put my mask on.
Owlmask.
Mara's great. She's lovely. I love her and her beautiful hair. She's faster. She got a big speed boost, which is one of her biggest problems. So that was really, really good for her. It doesn't change much. She's not really doing much more damage than she was doing. I would say slightly more survivable, but still pretty squishy. But the speed boost helps a ton because one, it helps get her turn faster so she can do her 2 skill to give herself or somebody else damage immunity. So that's really cool. And then because of that, also she's kind of providing a lot more mends to the team, which means that everybody's getting her passive benefit, the 15% turn meter every time they mend. So it is a beneficial one. Otherwise, it just moved her way up, way closer to the left side of my roster than she previously was. So I think if and I'm very close to taking her RB5. I have her RB4 right now. She may be my avatar if I finish her off, if we get a sale. That will likely change next month. If anybody wants to do some roster analysis and try to guess at who some of the reworks will be, but I believe next month I will probably have
Gart.
No, well, no comment. I will probably have another new avatar next month. We'll see.
Etrigan's my new avatar.
Oh yeah.
So speaking of
RB5.
stat boost, Damien's my new avatar. So
Oh, yeah?
that got changed for me.
M4, who's your avatar?
Etrigan.
Yeah. Me
How
too, man.
how is the little elf boot boy? How's he doing?
So I had just taken him RB5 like the month before this happened. So
Yeah,
I'd
you're
already
welcome.
been enjoying him. Yeah, keep those coming though, by the way. You know, but yeah, I had been enjoying him a lot since I took him RB5, and then he got the stat boost, and it's like I went from like destroying every blue and sometimes killing red, sometimes back and forth, to now just like almost killing all greens too. So like it's been crazy. It's great.
I thought Robin always hit hard, like because he got a lot of strength ups. Yeah, like he.
I run him under Nightwing, and so he like all you got to do is get that opening kill, and especially when I run spoiler in there, she opens it up to get that first kill real easy, and then then Damien just takes it from there, and
Yeah, he hits,
kills everybody.
Hits hard.
So he hits even harder now with the stat boost, and like he's a little more survivable. Where there's times where he was dying to like AOE's from certain characters, he's not anymore, so that's really nice. But he's still pretty squishy. Like he's never been like a tank or anything.
He's a little boy.
He's definitely a glass cannon, and he still fills that role. But I'm enjoying it.
Honestly, I'm gonna ask you a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
As we're like an hour and 40 minutes into this
Hour
episode.
11.
I don't know if anybody's still listening.
They're all
listening. If they are, hey, maybe they get a little hint. I don't know. How do you enjoy Robin's solo series right now?
It's actually
Josh
really
Williamson.
Good.
You like it?
Yeah.
Good.
Right.
That's interesting. Okay, just asking.
Interesting. I'm sure some code breakers out there will decipher that. Not me though. I am terrible at hints and codes and.
There's no hint at all. I was literally.
I bet there's something in there.
My dear friend Costly, what he thinks of an ongoing comic book series. That's all.
It sucks that it's ending, but you know.
What other boosties do we have?
That was it. That was all four.
Okay.
That was all four.
I'm
I
interested
started
to
at the
see.
bottom and went for the ones that neither of us had. And
I'm interested to see how it all shakes out. All right, next month. I want to know who the boosties are next month. Burr. It's Ice. Burr. She's good. I like her. All right, moving on.
I know nothing.
I think in general, I think they are power creeping.
Oh my god!
So
yeah,
bad
it's
that,
insane.
Like every new tune is gonna be pretty good.
Yeah.
It seems like it's just. Here's my theory behind it. I know it sounds crazy, but like I think instead of addressing the Spectre problem, their plan is to just power creep everything so much that he becomes either sort of more almost like what happened to Wonder Girl. Like Wonder Girl she never got bad.
Mm-hmm.
She just is kind of power crept right now, and so you don't use her as much as you want. I think that's what they're doing to Spectre. They're like, we're going to introduce 100 new tunes that are way more powerful than him in power level, that he's just going to start dying. And that's how we're going to fix this problem.
And that's why we're getting the stat boost. Catch the rest up.
Yeah, all of it. It's just,
it's very, very possible. You know, because I mean, I would say that like I tend to like tunes that go pow pow. You know, in this drop bodies, and she does that. She hits hard for Zaboo. I have her currently L4, and man, oh man, she hits greens real hard. Can pop a blue decently enough. And is that anything to do with her kit? Not really. It's just how these new tunes coming out hit so hard. And I've seen videos of the next character, Fire, where she's just wiping out Rebirth 3 and 4 reds in as an L3 or whatever. And it's just like, yeah, these power levels are getting so insane that they're getting so strong. And just, man, Ice is one of them. Like she's a very strong character. her basics. I mean, she does have a cool kit though. I do like her kit. Like I do like, you know, the basic with the speed downs and then 70% chance of stun. I do like the 2 that doesn't give any active buffs but gives you a turn meter and shield and HP. Like that's a triple threat right there. And then she has a move that hits super duper hard in her 3, and then gives strength ups.
That. It's not just the stats. I'm gonna read her damage modifiers from her 3.
I don't even know what damage
All
modifiers are.
Well, if you read
Scaling,
it,
some
it's
people
actually
call it.
going to make sense. All right,
Okay.
level 2 damage. The more you add rings, you add rings, and then it goes to the skill. You add more stuff to yours.
So when you add the rings, this is what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So level 2 is plus 13%. Level 3 is plus 13%, plus 14, plus 14, plus 15, plus 15, plus 16. It's insane.
Those are big jumps.
They are big jumps.
I think usually
So
like
when
5, maybe 10.
Yeah, the old tunes got like, all right, plus 5 and then do
Right.
something and then like plus 10.
On the last one or
First,
something.
yeah, something like that. It's like that. So it's not just the stats. The stats are, of course, higher, but they're like, I don't know, maybe a rebirth higher than the regular tunes, right?
Right.
So if you read, so there's the stats of the new tunes are like an RB1 of the old ones, but that doesn't account for them like hitting so hard, right? Because they like, all right, I told you this and you said I was crazy that my L4 ice, if she was L3 then, was stronger than my RB5 Wonder Girl, which is insane. And she's tanking hits more. So if I can't bring 2 blues, well, guess who I'm bringing? It's not Wonder Girl.
You're bringing ice over Wonder Girl?
Yes,
Yeah.
over my RB5 Wonder Girl.
They are, yeah. They're also, in addition to like the power creep and everything, there is a stat that they typically don't publish. Occasionally, sometimes Reeves will kind of, I don't know if it's accidentally or it just isn't a big deal. You'll see it in the posts and stuff, but every move, you know, like what M4 just described was the scaling of the move.
Mm-hmm.
It increases 100% damage or whatever it is.
Okay.
It also has an inherent base
The base,
power,
the
right?
starting damage. Yeah.
Yes, like the you know what it ends up is 100% higher than what it was, but it has a number that it starts with, and typically those numbers for the last 4 years would range between 1 and 200.
Okay.
And we started to see 6 months ago and stuff, we started to see 300 pop up and it would be like eye popping. Now there's stuff that'll start at 300 and will go up to like 375. Like they've increased the base damage of the skills as well. And they've also done that for the overheal too. So like Ice, her AoE tops out at 300 and her overheal tops out at 200. And those are higher than most of what we've seen before. Granny Goodness with her 3 and stuff, like it's a move that is, I think, 300 scaling that has a chance to double. That's like 600. And like, so that's why when you see these like one hit KOs and stuff, like that's why that's happening is it's just everything. The stats, the scaling, and the base across the board are way higher than they were a year ago.
I'm excited for us to get back into the awareness meta because that's how you solve this problem. With
They
of
should
like
just
one
give
shots and stuff.
everyone 10,000 or like 100,000 HP.
Well, because it's
Everyone.
like if you look back at like how things were going before, it was like we had the tank meta with Clayface, and that was solved by Wonder Girl, and then we had like we went through a couple different metas. Then every time we've gone back around to a tank meta, since then there's been like a increase in power of like damage for champions, and the way that they've always solved like one shots happening and stuff like that is awareness. Then we had characters come out that could hit under awareness. It's like there's always been like this constant, just like here's the solution to this one. Now we got to solve the solution to that, and then that, and so it's like, but it all kind of goes in a circle, you know. Like eventually we get back around to being back in tank meta or awareness meta or like whatever it is. Spectre's the only thing that ever broke that because he kind of fit multiple metas at once and solved for more than one meta at once. You know,
Tank meta. Interesting.
I was joking about giving everyone 100,000 HP, but the game would be pretty interesting if everyone had an additional 100,000 HP.
Do you remember several years ago when somebody on Reddit calculated it and realized that they weren't getting the HP adjustment?
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that.
And it was like a big deal because it all of a sudden
Changed
like,
the game.
Huntress was not one-shotting everybody. Like, that was what it was. Like, all of a sudden, tunes were surviving, and for me, it made the game so much more interesting.
I think it would
'Cause
be
I was
more
like,
interesting.
oh, you need a couple tunes, a couple turns to do this.
Yeah.
It's a turn-based game. Let me take turns. You know. I think we're getting back to the point where it's like starting to be too many one-hit KOs and stuff. So. I think eventually we're going to get more tanks. We're going to get bigger tunes, and we'll see.
We'll give that idea to Reeves right there. 100,000 HP to everyone. Just
Already
tack
did.
it on. All right.
Sent it just now.
Tank
Well, she
meta
also
is-
listens to this. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, Reeves.
Tank meta has always been my favorite meta. So.
I think it would be neat. I just think it'd be neat. But Burr, it's Ice. She's good.
Good.
She's a good character. I like her. She looks dang good. She ain't
Yeah,
no.
art is-
She ain't no. What's her nuts? What was Cyclone? She ain't no Cyclone. Yeah, I'll tell you that much right now. Hate mail. Go ahead and use this clip. Hi, hate mail. You know, be in the next WRL thing. But man, yeah, I like her. She's great. Burr, it's Ice, and we move on to Burn. Burn, it's Fire.
Brilliant. That is really intelligent.
That was great.
Good humor. I actually have like very little to say about Fire because I've not
Don't-
seen
yeah.
her and I've not used her.
M4, I'm looking to you to
know
bring this
nothing.
home, M4.
Oh, I don't have her, but I faced her plenty because of hate mail and Burger up there in Siege.
What did they have her at?
Burger at RB2, and then hate mail is a peasant L2, I think.
At RB2, like, again, I saw a video, and it was an L something or whatever, Fire, doing her little twirly spin fire.
Yeah,
And then,
L2 from hate mail.
yeah, and then killing a Rebirth 3 Black Canary out the gates. Like, what is that?
Well, she gains the buffs, and then also like you don't want to hit her unless you're gonna kill her, because she's just gonna ramp up and then she's gonna kill your reds.
So that's
I
what
don't
she-
even know.
I don't even know what
Yeah,
she
I don't
does.
even know all that she does because I don't care. Because I just kill her.
Oh, okay. So that's how you solve that problem. You just go and
Yeah.
give her a little whack, and then she's done.
Well, hate mails, but you have to be careful of burgers. So usually the priority stun is typically Canary.
Right.
Your Canary would stun enemy Canary. But when you face an L2's Fire, you have to like not pray for the AoE and then hope it punches the right tune. Sometimes you have to account for it if because she gains third meter. That's the scariest part of her kit. If you don't know that they gain third meter, because it's not written anywhere in their skills.
It's
That's why
not.
it's like
Wait. What happens? What's happening here?
Oh, maybe they're written.
Oh, you're talking about Canary. Okay, never mind. I don't want to.
Oh, we're talking about Fire too.
Okay.
We're talking about Fire.
Really? So she genuinely gains turn meter, and it's not written down.
It's written down.
Okay.
It's
So
written.
But not
it's
everyone
written.
reads. But not everyone reads.
there's a lot of words. Is all I'm
I know.
saying.
There's a lot. Yeah, just play the game, right, Josh?
Just-
That's how you learn. Who reads these things? Just fight, lose, win, and then you'll
Yeah,
learn,
that's
right?
it. Fight, lose, win,
Yeah.
learn.
Exactly. So there you go. Fire. Hot.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, again, along with the same lines of Ice, she's just so flippin' strong, and it's, man, like, you're gonna see some L5 Fires out sooner. I mean, next month, and then you're gonna be just nuking reds, and
Oh,
then
next week. Next week.
Next
You're
week.
gonna see.
Oh. M4, are you gonna win Siege?
I don't know. Maybe I have a shot. at it.
Better.
Are you just
Better.
if you had to say it, like, are you gonna win? Say I'm gonna win, or I don't know. Yeah, pick one.
I don't know.
Oh,
Come
Why
on.
did you give him the I don't know option?
I
Fuck
didn't
me.
say no. I said he couldn't say I don't know. It's either you're gonna win or no.
Give
I'm
me
not.
an
Gonna,
option.
Okay.
You said, are you going
You
to, or I
literally
don't know?
Okay,
I
fine.
just
New
spoke
options.
the
New options M4. You either say I'm gonna win Siege
now this
or I'm
sounds like
not
you
gonna
are.
win Siege. Which one is it?
What is what?
What? Jesus. Hit me with 3 seconds
All
of
right,
dead
dude.
air, and then you hit me with that.
This is all I'm gonna say about Fire. Okay, if you fully level her up, all her moves are gonna be an AOE.
Yes,
Oh,
that's true.
I remember reading about that. Like one of her, you can.
Basic.
Yeah,
The
what is it?
legendary
basic-
and her basic.
Is it a legendary point or is it like a scaling
Yes.
thing?
No, it's a
Legendary.
legendary.
So the legendary point turns the basic into an AOE.
Kind of like damaged goods. He does the basic and then like extra damage to everyone.
See, that's interesting. Because I'm not the. I mean, is the side damage just as strong or is it like weaker damage?
I don't know. I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's just it's interesting because I don't know.
I've never seen it.
I've
never seen
often said I'm not the biggest fan of tunes that only can AOE. I do like being able to select. So I don't know. I mean, we'll see.
Speaking of Siege, what do you guys think of the bonus tunes and the meta that's
Oh,
forming?
they're all great.
Are we moving to Siege predictions now?
Yes.
Is burn okay? So burn inside.
We need to keep rapid firing on this really slow rapid fire we've been going on.
We're moving at a perfect pace. Siege predictions. Oh, I guess I had already jumped into that. M4, are you gonna win? Yes or no? God, this dead air, he's killing me with it.
Oh, that's actually perfect because we're gonna fill that in.
Yeah.
In post.
I just gonna
Oh my
open my
God.
mouth and then you just like say yes or no, whatever.
Oh my God.
So you think. Well, I'm
Anyways.
trying.
It's M4
Kage's not making
impression.
it easy.
Who's not making
Bonus
it
tunes.
easy?
How do you guys feel about the bonus tunes?
Kage is the main competitor.
Kage?
Mhm.
Yeah, with his level 70.
With his
tunes.
level 70, that doesn't make sense. M4, just mop
Yeah,
the
but
floor
he
with
does-
him. Send him home in a body bag.
He does have that RV5 permanence.
Oh, who? You have enough. You're gonna have fire.
Nice both.
Yeah.
Wait, is Kage still doing level 70 tunes?
Yep.
Yes.
That's so like 2 years ago. What is going on? Like what?
2 out of the top 3 spots are from a non-owl alliance.
Like
Who is
who
it?
cares that much about?
Injustice
Right.
Society has
Oh
2
yeah, Kage.
Kage and Devil's
Oh,
Advocate.
that's right. That's right.
Is that the top alliance in the game right now?
I would, based off that, I would say yes.
I would.
I mean,
I mean-
obviously behind the 1500. 1500 is always the
That-
best chance in the game.
We're
Yeah,
not even
it's-
a part of the fray,
Right.
costly.
It's not even close. I don't know,
Because Josh allows others to win. He's
Yes.
magnanimous that way.
The bonus tunes, who are they? We have Mr. Steppenwolf. He's whatever's. Impulse is great. And then you have
Yes.
Wonder Girl, the
And
lethal
Artemis.
beauty that is Wonder Girl. And then you have
Artemis.
Artemis, and she's great. Artemis is great. I've lost a Wonder Girl here and there because of Artemis and her freaking double popping, super powerful axe. Mistress.
I bought up some of her
the
packs.
name of the axe is named Mistress.
Yeah, I can go
Oh.
RB3 on her now.
But there's
I mean,
Over
I
PvK.
just want to say, you said we're not even in the fray. I'm coming for that spot up there. I'm currently in 1580th place.
in what?
What?
In Siege.
What?
In
No, I
Siege.
was saying like for the fray of like being compared to other.
We're not even in the
alliances.
same. yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
like
It's-
we're
I was
in
gonna
like
say, I'm
we're
making a shot
major
for the-
league and
I'm making a
everybody
shot
else
for the
is
top
in
of Siege
minor.
here.
No.
You know?
Now, Costly, you will seemingly never win Siege. We've been asking you to do it because we want to be the only podcast
Right.
ever to have all world's finest across the board. We've been hearing about this for months. Nothing.
Oh, I'm
It's
gonna
got to
ask
be the
Josh
right
to
character.
ask
This
me.
is not the right character.
It has little to do with the character.
Has
But I'm
nothing.
gonna ask. It has nothing to do with it. Josh, I'm gonna ask you this
Okay.
because you won Siege and DOL. Which one is harder?
Mm.
I think TOL's harder. I'll say it. I think TOL's harder. I think TOL's harder to win. Can't pull tickets in
I don't-
Siege. Or in TOL is what I'll say.
Is that
I
how you
think-
won the other one?
No?
Boy We did pull tickets in TOL.
DaBoy did pull tickets in TOL.
He did. He
Yeah, he
did.
sure did. Yeah, Siege. The bonus tunes are neat. I feel like they're not as synergy-y as they normally are. Like,
They're not synergizing as well.
yeah, they're not synergy.
It's not always synergizing. Sometimes they counter each other. What
Okay.
disappointed me in this siege is they didn't even bring a single taunter. Because what's the point of having two tunes that counter taunters?
That's true.
And there are no taunters. Like, okay, I have true sight. Amazing. Well, no one's invisible,
Yeah,
no one's
it's true.
taunting. Okay. And then
Yeah.
TDK is like, no one's enraged, no one's taunting.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Gonna
I
be
mean, they did though. I mean, like Steppenwolf is obviously there to counter the Canary
Counter.
evasion skills.
yes.
Impulse is there to enhance Canary. Like a lot of people forget that Impulse has both the hit chance downs and the evasion ups in his
Mhm.
kit.
He does.
So I think
Yes.
that is supposed to go with
What
Canary.
is Artemis doing?
My guess is the stuns with ice.
Yeah.
Okay,
Is
that
that,
makes
that
sense.
that's maybe what they were looking at? I don't know for certain. And then Wonder Girl, I think, is there kind of to deal with TDK probably.
And maybe
and-
all the
and
extra
Steppenwolf.
buffs they get.
Steppenwolf.
As they
And
get
he counters Steppenwolf too, or she counters
Yeah,
Steppenwolf.
same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
they're heavy buff tunes. So I do think that they kind of play well with each other. I think people are just forgetting that because they're all really good. Like
Yeah.
you can go plus 18, plus 20 without blinking in this. Like
Yeah.
Impulse takes care of
Yeah.
most
Oh
things.
my god, yeah. Impulse it gives you such the start of the match is still so important that with Impulse you just so you know what I keep doing and I make myself so mad is I will stun sometimes Impulse. And I get mad at myself when I do that because my next move is usually kill Impulse with Wonder Girl with a punch. Like, and I just like I've done that. I stun Impulse. I'm like, I'm just gonna kill him. It's a waste of a stun. I usually stun Canary. I made a mistake today. I saw the Canary and it was a Aquaman lead. I was like, oh, I'm gonna stun that Canary this time.
Oh.
And I went out
I've
there.
seen that in the TOL.
And I did it, and then immediately, I didn't get the stun, and I look, I'm like, damn it, Aquaman! But I ended up winning the match 3-star. He almost killed my Impulse, Aquaman did, but I got through it. But I was like, damn it, I did it again. I hate it.
I guess that's why you never learn your lesson because both occasions you won the match.
I guess that's true. Yeah. What's the harm? What's the harm in doing it? I also, isn't it like, even when you do that, he only how much turn meter does he give the team when you turn him down, Zubaz? Because Impulse takes down 80%.
70.
Well, so it's 70 swing because it's 40 of your own that you get, but 30 down to your team. So it's a swing of about 70. But the thing is, if you manage to land the stun on Aquaman, your team gets the 30 down because it's a passive,
but they don't
get the 40 up.
Yeah.
So anyway,
yeah. Siege predictions. M4 has predicted he will win Siege.
I think he guaranteed it.
Guaranteed it.
That's what I heard. It was a Joe Namath. I guarantee.
M4, will you do that on this? Will you guarantee your win? Do it. Why not?
I'm gonna guarantee I'm gonna win the TOL 6.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
I mean,
The coward M4.
M4. It would just be really cool to do that. To just say, you know what, I'm gonna win this siege, and then just do it.
You think so?
I think so. I think this is the perfect time. All right, I'm gonna set you up. Here, we're gonna do it one more time. M4, are you going to win this siege?
I'm going to win a siege.
He said a siege, and I knew he'd just get away out of it. We'll cut that out.
He is. He's a coward. When Costley said we have M4 coming on the stream, I said M4 is a coward.
Yeah.
I'm making a little documentary called "The Assassination of DaBoy" by the coward M4, and it's going to be about the TOL.
M4, I've heard you compare yourself to Jordan, and you often reference
That is true.
By the number.
and you often reference Kobe in your mentality and how you like to keep your mindset. what would Jordan and Kobe do in this situation? They would say they're going to win Siege. So M4, are you going to win Siege or not?
I'm neither of those guys. I wish I was.
Actually, I think Costly reminds me of Jordan more than M4, but his baseball career. Jordan's
Wow.
Oh boy.
Too easy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. So moving on, we have relevant media.
This is my favorite one every month. Wait, we skipped the secret DaBoy and Costly segment.
Well, the boy's not here. We can't do this.
All right, we'll save that for next month.
Yeah.
Relevant media. Harley Quinn is back. I am actually loving Harley Quinn. It's very excellent. I mean, it's not too much of a spoiler to say today's episode that came out. They go to New Orleans, run into John Constantine, and then seek out Swamp Thing. So this was an episode written for me. It was delightful. But yeah, no, it's really good. It's the same as it's ever been. And I think they're doing a fun job with it. It's like a fun storyline this time. And
it's a great show. If anyone hasn't watched it, it's a great show.
It is really good. And then what else? Sandman came out last week.
Oh, I haven't
watched it.
I have not watched it yet. It has good reviews. Oh, I mean, I think Sandman is great. I think it has often been considered one of those unfilmable things. So I'm curious. But they've hyped this one a lot. So I will be checking that out. What else? Stargirl comes out at the end of the month.
Who cares about Stargirl?
Hey,
I just finished season 2. Season 2 is really good.
I don't believe it. I can't.
I didn't finish it.
I watched the first episode and that was it.
Oh no! There's like cheesy stuff and everything. It's not as good as like Superman and Lois, right? But it's like, I don't know. It's fun seeing like the JSA stuff, and like this season they did a lot more of like the JSA, like actually seeing like Wildcat as Ted Grant dressed up as Wildcat and Our Man, and like you got to see a lot more of like the JSA being the JSA, and then now like I don't want to spoil anything, but like there's some of those characters have come back and like are in the show beyond just the young JSA, and so like it's been pretty interesting.
I'll say this: the reason that I'm mentioning all these shows coming out this month is because basically after this month,
they're all gone.
Everything is canceled. DC is over. There's no more DC media ever again. Basically, is kind of the gist of it. So this will probably be one of the last relevant media shows that we do.
Were you bummed about Batgirl being canceled, Costly?
I'm kind of like of a split mind on this, where it's like I wanted to see that movie, but I also want DC to get like their crap together and just like actually make a universe that would be fun to like all together. And I think it's one of those deals where it's like, yeah, everything's all canceled right now, but I think it's gonna be we're gonna end up in a better place than we are right now with DC. I think. Like
I'll say this. I agree. I think DC, if they do what they're saying, what they're saying is they're gonna do a plan. If they do it, I think we'll be in a better place. But they have to do it. I mean, anyone could say they're going to make a great plan.
I'm going to take them for what they're like. I don't have a reason to not believe them. Like,
do you realize that the Flash movie was announced like 9 years ago?
Didn't you say it was a?
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying right now, DC and WB sucks. So I'm okay with everything being canceled and then just getting a new like
Stars and Garters.
Like Flash
WB watches our podcast.
I know, this is so aggressive. I would never say DC sucks. Jesus.
Also, Zubaz, didn't you say that like they announced the Flash movie the same time
before
they announced the show, right?
They were within like days of each other. They said that the Flash movie is coming and then the show is coming too. And they've now had 9 seasons of the show and we still don't have the Flash movie. Black Adam was announced like 3 Comic-Cons ago, like 4. I mean, it's like and I understand there was a pandemic. I get it.
Right.
But we still don't have the movie. Like, I don't even know if we're close to the movie. And like, here's the other thing: is there's been so many instances of these like last second cancellations that I can't even trust that like that movie will come out in December or October or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it could easily be like a month before they're just like, hey, we're not sure about this. And then they scrap it, you know? And even like their excuses for Batgirl, they're like, yeah, we did some test screenings and it wasn't good. And we don't want to release things that aren't blockbuster quality. And I'm like, hey, I saw the Suicide Squad and I saw the Harley Quinn back, you know, the Birds of Prey movie.
So
like
bad.
I just like I saw these movies. We know you're capable of releasing anything. So I don't know why you're just canceling stuff. Now I feel bad. I wanted to see Michael Keaton come back. I wanted to see what's his name? Commissioner Gordon. Like all the casting. I heard that Brendan Fraser's Firefly was supposed to be really, really cool. And now we're going to get that in like 5 years. There's going to be some intrepid intern who snuck out a digital copy. And then we're going to restore the HBO-verse.
That'll never happen. The only reason Snyderverse ever happened was because they were launching HBO Max and they needed something to launch it with.
Yeah, and when the HBO Discovery thing like blows up and they need to do HBO Max 2.0, that's when we get back.
I guess more or less like what I'm trying to say is like I don't get me wrong. I wanted to see all these movies, and I would still love to see them. It sucks that like everything that happened for like all the different actors and the crew and everybody was working on this movie. It's like that's horrible.
They all got paid.
Like, yeah, but like where I'm at on this is like
I think they did.
is like I think we're still gonna get the Flash movie and the Black Adam, and we're gonna get Aquaman 2 and
Flash is
kinda
nice, man.
Okay, well, I mean,
Even
like
if the movie were any good, it's gonna be like rough.
Oh,
to release
that
it.
movie is I think that movie is the best movie of all time. Because I think in any other instance, they would have scrapped it given all of the problems with the main character.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Any wind of like just a fraction of like what
you know what I think is going on?
I guess my point is like now like there's the new company coming in and like it's the merger and everything with Discovery. And it's like I don't have any reason to be like, oh, I don't believe you that you're gonna do this plan. Like they said, here's this plan. Okay, so I'm gonna be like, for at least for now, be like, okay, cool. Let's see what they do. Now, if like the first thing they said they were going to do, then they all of a sudden cancel that, say that they're not going to do it, then I'm going to be like, okay, now you're giving me a reason not to trust you. But as of right now, it's like, they're like, hey, we want a plan. We're going to bring in somebody like Kevin Feige to do like this type thing. And it's like, okay, cool. That sounds good to me. Like, you know, and like.
I was going to say with the Flash movie, I think what's really going on with it is they're going to use the Flash movie as the way to reset everything. And,
that was always the problem.
And then, so like now they're just like, if they cancel it, they're gonna have to find a new way to reset everything. And it's just like they're really looking for any reason to get this movie out there. And man, Ezra just keeps coming out there, and oh man,
it's incredible.
It's something.
Yeah. So I think that's most of the relevant visual media.
The new has the Predator ever been? Is IDW or DC? He's been in a DC comic.
Yeah,
we had Predator
versus Batman. All right, relevant media. Go watch Prey on Hulu, because my goodness gracious, it's a good movie. It's a really, really good movie. If you haven't seen Prey, M4, have you seen Prey?
I have not. I added it to my list.
Oh, add it to your list. It's just so solid. We had a little discussion in the 1500 chat about like 90s style action movies, and I was a very big fan of Predator, the first one. I think it's like I told Zubaz, like the Predator movies aren't good. They ain't gonna win no Academy Awards on these movies. They're your cheesy action flicks. I think Predator is very neat, very Arnold-esque, and I'm a huge fan of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Zubaz is not. And
that is not what
you said. I hate Arnold Schwarzenegger and everything he stands for.
I absolutely did not say that whatsoever.
And so
I said that I am a JCVD guy and that I have no problem with Arnold.
Trivia. Did you know that the original Predator in The Predator
it's JCVD
was Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Yeah, but
he was the original Predator, and the Predator looked completely different. And there's a lot of like whispers and rumors of why he quit. I mean, one of the most logical reasons is, well, he got offered Bloodsport. So why is he going to be some guy in a costume when he can go off and be Bloodsport? Others are saying that he wanted the Predator to be a kickboxer, so he really wanted to show off his things. And
you know what? I heard that when they did the fight scenes together with Predator and Arnold, it was unbelievable that Arnold was even in the Predator's league. They looked at it, they were like, okay, this Predator is just way too awesome, way too incredible at everything he's doing.
Have you ever seen a child try to kick and punch a grown man, and it's like punching a brick wall? That's what happened. What actually happened. Anyways,
with Arnold trying
John Claude
Predator.
trying to punch Arnold. Yeah. So, but anyways, but there's pictures out there of Jean Claude in the Predator suit, but it was a different Predator. He had a different head.
Right.
He looked a little bit more like that type of Predator.
So, other relevant media.
But
Dark Crisis #3 just came out.
Wait. Go watch Prey. It's so good.
Oh, wait, we'll pause it right here. We'll go watch it,
right.
and then we'll come back.
Okay.
Yeah, in 3 hours? How long is it?
Yeah, just go watch. We'll come pick this video. All right. Anyways.
But yeah, Dark Crisis 3 came out. Trying to think of any other comics I'd recommend that Okay, obviously Zubaz isn't liking it. I'm still liking it.
I really want to read it. I was at Comic-Con. Zubaz, did you know I was at Comic-Con?
We should talk about you going to Comic-Con.
I was in the panel.
This is the first I'm hearing of this.
I was in the Dark Crisis panel when they made the big announcement about Dark Crisis.
I thought you said I was on the panel.
Oh, no, I was in the panel. I wish I was on the panel. I went to, so DC did a thing this year where they didn't have a DC booth, which just blew my mind, and I was very upset. But they had their normal panels, and at the panels they gave away some exclusive pins, and they were really cool. I missed one of them. I was very upset about it. But I was at the Dark Crisis panel, and they made that big announcement. I'm not going to say it because I don't know if it's too big of a spoiler, but
it's an announcement. It's not a spoiler.
Well, I mean, did they announced it I guess once they announced it as San Diego,
I was told about it in my comic shop. So
okay, so that it's now the Dark Crisis of Infinite Earths, and I don't know. I'm in. I'm still trying to catch up.
I think it's enjoyable.
I'm sure it is. Zubaz is
so sick of it. I just all of I will just say it again. I think the main comics line, the main continuity is bad. I think it's very, very bad. And I think DC is very worth reading if you pursue all of their miniseries.
Do you like big events?
I think in the past there have been good big the original Crisis on Infinite Earths. I think
that was 100 years ago.
Yeah, well, I think that they've now since overdone it, trying to recapture that magic, basically.
So that was what was the last time they had a big event and you're like, this is great. Like I enjoy this.
I mean, Final Crisis wasn't bad.
Wasn't that 100 years ago as well?
I
No.
like how you just jumped straight up pre-New 52. So like you didn't like anything.
Yeah, that was
like
well,
almost 20 years ago.
I think most of the since the New 52 stuff, I think they have been bad. I do.
I liked it.
I
liked a lot of things that came out of the New 52.
The New 52 is fine. The New 52 is fine, but like Flashpoint, I thought was kind of a dud. Big time.
Oh, see, I like Flashpoint.
All right.
See, but I will agree with you guys on like all of their miniseries are great right now.
I'm sure they are.
There's a ton of them.
Oh, good.
On the flip side, I'm actually loving DC's main line right now, but that's just the difference between.
I mean, they're not doing well, like in terms of like
comic
sales.
sales.
Like they're just not.
Well, they said that.
Wrong, like Dark Crisis 2, I was a little like frustrated. Dark Crisis 2, I was like, this thing needs to get going. But it didn't. Like, did you read 3, Zubaz, or no?
No, I didn't.
It got going with 3.
Hang on, I'll say this at the Comic-Con, they said that the sales for Dark Crisis jumped after issue 2. They said they're going up, so that's a good sign.
Sure. Do you realize? I mean, you do realize that all of these things like pale in comparison to like New 52, and that New 52 pales in comparison to like the 10 years before that. Like it's just
definitely like
straight into the ground.
I mean, New 52 was
But-
a success financially, I would say.
Yes.
Like from what I've
But
heard.
well, there's two different analyses of it, which is like the immediate impact was a success, but that if you look at like the 2-year span following New 52, it's the same as the 2 years prior to it. Like if just like long term, it did nothing, and that over that average, it did nothing.
It got me into comics. That's what it
Hey,
did.
I
that's
mean,
great.
it got
Hey,
me in as well.
Listen, I'm all for anybody getting into comics, but I would just always recommend they read better things.
You
So,
sound like a grumpy old man yelling at the clouds
only other
right now.
relevant
No.
media that I'm
current
Yeah.
comics I think are fantastic. Like
The
I
main
think
the main storyline.
the Poison Ivy series right now by G. Willow Wilson. It's one of like the best books I've ever read.
Nightwing
like
is,
adore it.
I think
I
Nightwing's
wrote
best
to
book.
her on Twitter. I literally sought her out and said like, "This is beautiful," and she responded and was like, "Thank you so much. This is so cool." And
She's
like I think
married.
that's fantastic. Tom King. Oh, I don't. We grew up in the same county.
I don't even know who
she is. She is married. Oh, she did a Vixen series a long time ago for DC that was really good, but she's most famous for creating Miss Marvel, the Kamala Khan Miss Marvel. Like, yeah. So because she is a Muslim herself now. But yeah, I think that is fantastic. I think Tom King is doing excellent work. I think there's a lot of really, really neat series. And what they keep doing is if a series is good, they bring it back for what they're calling season 2. They're making comics like a
That's
TV
weird.
show now.
Yeah, I don't like that.
So Poison Ivy has been renewed for season 2 starting in December. Swamp Thing by Ram, who I've given up on. I'm so sad that he's taking over Batman now because
He was at Comic-Con.
I've unhitched my wagon from his trailer.
He was at Comic-Con and he seemed great.
Previously was enjoying him so much, and I think he's gone way across the line of like this is even comprehensible anymore. I think Aquaman Andromeda is god awful. I think Swamp Thing has become incomprehensible. I'm very concerned of what he's going to do with Batman. And he was good for a very long time. I think he's like run out of ideas and it's just getting weird. But anyway, I
would love to watch you read a comic. You should turn a camera on yourself as you're reading comics because I would just like to see your expressions. Yeah, and just because I feel like you're reading and you're like you're like, come on, and you just like scream in the sky.
It can be frustrating, but no, I mean, I think there's some really good stuff going on. But so Swamp Thing, we're in the middle of season 2. And then because it got kind of bad, they announced like there will not be a season 3 of Swamp Thing. And it's like they're treating it like these TV series, which I guess that's the point. They recently changed. It's no longer DCcomics.com.
What is it?
It's DC.com. And like they've taken the comics out of it because they want to be this multimedia thing. And I think that's part of the verbiage of like, okay, let's not call this an ongoing series. Let's call this a season. And it's going to be a 6-issue season, and maybe it'll get renewed for season 2.
And just so you know, Josh, like it doesn't say like season 1 or season 2 like on the book.
Right. No.
It's just like it's referred to.
Oh,
as, like,
it did on Swamp Thing. I think it
did. It
on one of the Wonder.
The
cover, I've seen the Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern Hal Jordan one. It said like season 1 and season 2.
Yeah. I think they're starting to like lean into it a little bit more. And maybe it's working, maybe it's not. The important part to me is they are letting these creators do these really interesting things. For September, they've announced all of those Batman One Bad Day one-shots, which look really, really cool. I'm excited for those. They're basically, it's like, so Joker's, it's supposed to be like the Killing Laugh for Joker, but for Riddler and Ra's al Ghul and Killer Croc, like all whatever, like there's like 8 of them. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I think right now the best mainline book of DC though is Nightwing.
Like, I agree
as far
with
as
that.
the mainlines, like it's in my companion. I don't know if you're reading Batgirls, but Batgirls companions it pretty well as far as like the relationship between Barbara and Dick. Like they
Girls.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting how those writers are working together on that because they'll make a habit of like say if like Dick's over at Barbara's house, or not, but like at the clock tower at the end of Nightwing, that's where he is in Batgirl. Batgirl picks up next week. Like, and then it's in the same way that Catwoman actually just did the same thing. Catwoman jumped through all the different books on the most recent issue. Like, she jumped into the Batgirls, like she appeared in the Batgirls issue, and then that pages was in the most recent Catwoman book, but from her perspective. And like every time she got into the different books, the art switched to match those books, which was really cool in that most recent issue. But to get past that,
Marvel has been doing that for a very long time with X-Men, which has always been kind of neat. And I don't even read that much Marvel anymore, but yeah,
I haven't been reading anything. I wanted Daredevil on my pull list, and then number one didn't get pulled, and then I didn't want to go buy one off of Midtown, and so I just not reading anything Marvel right now.
I feel
did
poor
you see
M4 right
Thor?
now is just M4. How you holding up right now, bud?
I just found the time to play my Siege match.
Okay.
Carry on. Carry
Josh,
on.
did you see Thor, Josh?
The new one, the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it.
No, the old one.
Could have been the old one. You don't know. Yeah, I've seen
We're talking about relevant media right now. You
Yeah,
saw it?
I saw
What
it.
did you think?
I liked it. It was fun. It was okay. Like, it wasn't, it was fun. That was it.
Don't tell Costly it was okay. Do not tell Costly that.
I'll say, what my favorite part of the whole movie was the black and white shots when they were on that.
I thought it was a fun movie.
You're so artsy.
It
I
was neat,
thought it was a fun movie. I've almost entirely forgot about it by this point.
It was
Okay,
it was
where's-
fine. Like, I don't
Me and Hog Guy were talking about it, and we were just like, "Yeah, it's okay. It has its problems." And Costly yelled at us. He was just like, "You guys are awful humans. You
That is
are
not at all
so
what I said.
critical. You are
That's
pieces of
nothing.
human trash." I've
Oh
never heard
my
anybody
God.
speak to Hog Guy like that. Who's like the nicest guy in the world. My
Oh my
favorite
God.
owl. Present company not included. No, he is my favorite owl. Hawkeye over him.
I thought it was fine. I think I enjoyed it more than Doctor Strange.
Interesting.
I did that.
I did not.
But you know what I enjoyed more was Prey on Hulu right now. Go check it out. It's a great movie.
This is a sponsored stream.
I'm gonna.
Very rarely I get excited about a movie that comes out, and Prey's one of those movies.
You got very excited about the Chip and Dale movie.
I did very much enjoy it. That was a good one. I was a big Rescue Rangers kid growing up as well. Yeah. So I was very and I like John Mulaney, and it was great. I thought it was very funny.
I'm gonna throw a plug in here for anybody who grew up watching Smallville like I did and loves it.
Ooh.
There is a there's a podcast right now called Talkville going on where Michael Rosenbaum and Tom Welling they're rewatching the show and doing discussion episodes on
this
it.
This is a tough question. You know, like when they give you like one of those impossible questions, and it's always something like so graphic and disgusting, and you're like, oh, I would never want either. I'm like right now, would I rather Costly talk about Smallville or Raids? Like I don't know. Like they're both just so atrocious.
What do you have against Smallville?
It was costly. I've seen clips, I've seen stuff of it, and it looks just like an awful show. And I've heard from multiple people, they go, you just have to get past the first 4 seasons, and then it really picks. And it's like, that's not a good show. Then
it's like what that is with that is like
what season do you think people need to get to for it?
I think you could just start at season 4 because that's what
They made 3 seasons of garbage.
Yeah, they made 3 seasons of garbage Freak of the Week stuff that was CW show.
No.
But starting in 4, that's when Lois Lane shows up.
Oh my God.
The next season you get the Justice League.
M4, did you watch Smallville M4?
I did not.
Good.
My only exposure to it is when Tom Welling showed up in the Crisis and
Right.
Infinite
And that was kind of neat. And he was like, yeah.
I'm telling you, Smallville was a great show.
I'm hearing what you're saying.
I have the collector set.
I know, we've seen it.
Oh man, we know.
Costa, there's so many better shows, and you don't have to watch that every year.
I'd willingly watch it every year. I think you're missing out, but it's whatever.
Oh, I don't think I'd ever watch it.
No,
I've never seen it, but my problem with shows like that is like they're making everything about the main hero, whoever is the first one, and like every hero came from whatever, like, the kryptonite or whatever they are. Even Flash, Aquaman, I think.
Yeah, see, that was the problem in the beginning of the show. That's why everybody says to skip the first 3 seasons. These first 3 seasons are just Freak of the Week. Everybody gets made from Kryptonite. But like in season 4, Lois Lane shows up. It gets super interesting. Season 5, Bart Allen shows up as Impulse. You get Alan Richardson as Aquaman.
I've seen the races. It looks
Yeah,
so
Aquaman.
bad.
The show started in 2001. What do you want? Yeah, you want the special effects to like hold up to today? But it's like
I remember one good thing about that show, Lana.
Yeah, no, she was great. And then, but then it's like then you get the Justice League, and like that was really fun. It was the first time we saw the Justice League all together, like in live action like that. It was fun.
Costly. I support you in enjoying Smallville. I'm
just saying that's what I'm saying for anybody out there else that's listening to this podcast, because they're, despite what you guys may think, there are Smallville fans. Okay,
there's dozens of you.
Yeah, there's.
And so what I'm saying is anybody who is enjoying it that enjoyed the show that doesn't know, basically the guy that played Lex Luthor and the guy that played Clark Kent, they're doing a podcast together with a guy that had never seen the show before, and they're kind of asking
him.
So 99% of America.
Yeah. Anyway, and then like they're bringing on guest stars and everything too. Like they just had Kristen Kurokan, who is Lana, like on the most recent one this week, and it's been a lot of fun.
Cool.
So
I do have there's one more relevant media update, and this is for longtime fans of the Crime Alley Cats, which is, I don't know if people remember this. This is a fun inside joke that we had when we were talking about Pennyworth. Remember, like we talked about that show, and everybody was like, "What is that?" Because they announced it at Fandom. They talked all about it, and we were just like,
season 3 or something. We were like,
so Pennyworth is that they're changing the name of the show. It's now not going to be called Pennyworth. It's going to be called Pennyworth: The Origin of Batman's Butler, and they're moving it to HBO Max. They're taking it off that weird channel.
Oh yeah, what was that channel it was on?
It was like, I don't even remember. We have to go back and listen to the original when we cover the Fandom. You'll get these jokes, but it's now going to be on HBO Max. They're season 3, and people are making fun of this stupid name because now it's Pennyworth: The Origins of Batman's Butler. Is the full name of the show, and like people are like, oh, I can't wait for the Joker. Like Joker: The Origin of Batman's Villain. Like all these just stupid.
It's like it's funny.
You know what that sounds like? DC Legends fight superheroes. That's what that sounds like.
You know what's interesting is like when they made the title of the show, they're like, let's just call it Pennyworth. We don't want to associate Bat. We want the show to be about the man Pennyworth. And now we're on this like Batman's Butler. Like they just abandoned that and like we gotta get Batman's name in here.
Batman sells things, man.
He does.
Like
somebody did an analysis recently where I think it's something like 74% of DC comics that come out are Batman aligned or something. Like it's real
Batman,
bad.
He's all the rage.
DC, that's Detective Comics. It's not anything else.
I think that's all the media that's relevant.
That's it. Well, we put in the DaBoy outro at the end here, and I don't even
want to talk about DaBoy right now. Not showing up for this today. M4, would you like to make an outro for us?
No.
Fair enough.
M4, do you have any parting words for episode 32 of the Crime Alley Cats?
32.
Pay up.
Oh, wow.
Man, look at this. God, it's been 1 week since the TLO and he's already knocking down my door, sending the goons.
I am not. I was just couldn't think of something funny. I don't know. Not very funny, I guess.
Do you have any words of wisdom for DaBoy?
Yeah.
To help him do better next time?
I don't know if that's possible. Let's see.
Everybody always says
I know.
Okay.
Do less tunes. That's it.
Just play better.
Lose
2
fewer tunes. I get it. Yeah. Everybody's always saying how like sharp M4 is.
No, you put him on the spot and he's like,
I don't know. Maybe it's.
I
think he wrote.
Things. but not like come up with shit on the full.
I think he wrote about an hour and a half worth of material, and then we've gone past that, and so now he's just scrambling in his notes, and he's just
he did burn costly very early on,
Yeah.
and then So
all right. I think that'll do it for this episode. Our next episode comes out in a week from today. We have one coming out. Just schedule that in. No, we are going to have another guest.
Yeah.
Oh, the boy. Is it the
No, another guest that's going to
Besides
be
the boy.
on, and I'm not going to say who, because if I do,
It sounds like an owl.
There's another podcast. That likes to
there's
podcast.
if I give away too much, then there's another podcast out there that will just
We don't say that word on this podcast.
I mean, regardless, it's just either they're going to steal your idea before it comes out or steal it after. And
Yeah,
it makes
I know.
very little difference.
It's true. All right, that's it for us today. Those are M4's words, his final words. They're either going to steal it or they're not. Before or after, just how it is. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for watching the Crime Alley cast. Hit the like button, give us your rave reviews in the comments, and be sure to subscribe and click the bell for updates on future episodes. If seeing our dashing faces makes you self-conscious about your own patchy facial hair, check out the audio-only version, available on Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, Spotify, and Podbean. And don't forget to check us out live streaming DC Legends and other games throughout the week using the links below. See you next time, Gotham.